6:02, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Main Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Tennessee basketball is marching on to the Sweet 16 for the fourth consecutive year after beating three-seeded Virginia 79-72 on Sunday. Jacoby Gillespie led the way with 21 points in 38 minutes played. The Vols will now move on to play two-seeded Iowa State Friday night at 9:10 Central in Chicago. Vanderbilt, they lost a close one on Saturday to Nebraska 74-72 despite Tyler Tanner's 27 points and 4 steals. A last-second heave from beyond half court by Tanner rimmed out, and the Commodore season went final. In a shocking upset last night as 9-seed Iowa upset 1-seed Florida in the South region 73-72. Alvaro Volgaris nailed a three-pointer at 4.5 seconds left. Iowa moves on to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 27 years. And Nashville Soccer Club continued their historic start to the season as they blanked Orlando City SC 5-0 Saturday night at Geodis Park. They remain unbeaten to the season. Sam Surridge scored his 4th career hat trick, and it was his 3rd multi-goal game of the season. Nashville now is first in the Eastern Conference with 13 points. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Break it easy once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, very good Monday morning to you in Music City, USA. Good morning and welcome in to Ramon and Will on this Monday, March the 23rd. We got a lot to get to over the next 4 hours. 615-737-1045 is our number. We stream the show live for you on 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. A half-court shot that hit backboard, hit rim, hit another side of the rim, and then went out. That's what separated Vanderbilt from the second weekend for the first time in nearly 2 decades. We'll talk about that this morning. Stoney Keeley scouts interior offensive lineman with us at 7:20. Jason Swain at 8:20. But Ramon, this morning we begin with a 4th straight second weekend for Rick Barnes in Tennessee basketball. Good morning.
It is, man. Good old Rocky Top. It's pretty stable.
Woo!
Yes, sir. I'm a wooer, okay? I'm not a woo girl or woo boy at all, but when it comes down to playing Rocky Top, I woo. With that being said, if you're wondering why I'm like this today.
No, I don't have to wonder at all.
No, you don't have to wonder. I know you very well. For the people that don't understand, it's been petty as of late from a lot of fan bases in this round ball sport, just for the entire year as well. So if we're not your cup of tea, you probably want to pour us out on a day like today. But we got a lot of good information for you, great guests and great topics as well.
And don't get rid of people before 7 a.m.
I'm not trying to,
all right.
Will, but I've gotten attacked before 7 o'clock numerous times this week. You guys suck.
Also fair.
We ruined. I know, it's very fair as well. It's sports. I tell you, we need hate in sports. All I'm saying is this. If you can dish it, you must sit down and also eat it as well. And that's just kind of what we are, because it'd be a shame. I mean, an absolute just travesty. If you were from the state of Tennessee, a top 6, top 5 seed, you complain about, hey, what the respect you need and the draw that you have, and you beat certain teams on their senior days and you brag about it and stuff like that, and you don't make it to the Sweet 16 like the Vols did in East Tennessee. Man, that would just blow my mind if that was your squad. It would be an absolute shame if you join us daily on the YouTube chat and you have, your anchors and you got your other schools and you troll all day long and you talk bad about Rick Barnes and the Vols and how, hey, little brother is doing this thing and we're little brother is what they're telling me, and you don't make it to the Sweet 16. I'm just saying, all I know is last man standing tells whatever story they want to tell on a day like today. And I'm going to tell whatever story, Will, that I want to tell on a day like today. So I'll be professional as heck. Kudos to what Vanderbilt has going on and everything else in Florida as well. But, yeah, today probably won't be your day.
Today, the kudos belong to the Big Orange.
Yeah, it does belong to the Big Orange.
79-72 over Virginia yesterday afternoon in Philadelphia. Nate Ament scored 13 of his 16 in the second half and hit the go-ahead free throws with 1:37 left to send Tennessee on to Chicago. Bishop Boswell with 13 and a career-high 9 assists in this game. Jacoby Gillespie had a team-high 21 points and 6 assists. And Jalen Carey gets to go to the Sweet 16. He had 10 points off the bench as well, sending home 3-seed Virginia, who finishes the season 30-6, despite 22 from... I still don't know how to say his first name. Tyus, I believe, DeRitter. Malik Thomas had 12. Jakari White with 10. Tennessee is in the Sweet 16 for the 5th time under Rick Barnes and Ramon for the 4th straight year. There are 3 college basketball programs that have made the second weekend of the NCAA tournament in 4 consecutive seasons. Alabama, Houston, and the Tennessee Basketball Volunteers.
Talk about it. Bama did it late last night as well, too. What a tip-off, man. That thing, your boy eyes was getting heavy by the time Bama was tipping it.
Because the game ended as soon as it tipped off as well.
Well, I mean, when you consistent and you do your thing like that, I mean, hey, everybody pretty much set you in that time slot where you go handle business, man. But shout out to Rick Barnes, man. It's been a year is the way I would describe it for him, and the expectations, the type of guys that he had on this team, the cardiac Vols. I saw somebody call them that last night too. Like you've lived 5 years in 2025 and 26. Geez, why am I saying 15, 16? 2025 and 2026 with the Vols this year. But I saw a quote last night that spoke about the coaches, the older coaches that were over 70. Rick Patino, Coach Sampson, Rick Barnes. Is Kyle 70 or close to it? Well, he's older.
Close to it.
He's close to it.
If he's not already.
Yeah. And like this is where coaches like him. 67. Those coaches' experience and also teaching and development comes to the front of the line in these type of moments right here. Like you watch what the tournament is so far, and it's teams that got a lot of composure. The talent also matters as well. But Coach Barnes has been in this seat before, and absolutely, I mean, consistency is what you're looking for, and he's created that at the University of Tennessee with the basketball program, man.
I thought it was interesting how the script got flipped yesterday.
As far as
it looked like it was the same script as most of Tennessee's losses all season down the stretch.
Right.
And the question I had was in real time, is this going to be the same old way that Tennessee has lost? Or are they finally going to find a way to overcome bad second half turnovers, missed free throws, and just unforced errors? Tennessee could not help but turn the ball over late in this game. Vols were up by 9 with 10:31 left. And then it was just it was a clinic on how to turn the basketball over. Jacoby Gillespie turned it over in front of the Tennessee bench out of a timeout with 5:23 left after Virginia cut it in 2. Then Nate Ament walks on an inbound attempt with 4:10 left. Gives Virginia the ball back, helps them tie the game 8 seconds later. Jacoby turns it over again with 2:43 left, with Tennessee up 70-68. Nate Ament has to take a timeout with 2:12. Then Gillespie turns it over on the inbound out of the timeout.
Yeah.
Virginia then hits the go-ahead 3, and you're thinking, here we go again. Tennessee had a lead. They're up by 9, 10 minutes to go, and then they just can't help themselves. They just throw the basketball away. But Nate Ament got fouled, made go-ahead free throws with 1:37 left. JP Estrella, a big turnaround bucket late in this game. Bishop Boswell made 1 of 2 with 46 seconds left. But Tennessee got back to its identity, which starts with defense and rebounding.
It was.
And they made 3 straight stops after giving up the lead, scoring 7 straight to go up 77-71 in the final minute, and that was the difference. Tennessee got back to its DNA, which was defense, rebounding, take care of the ball, and just make some timely free throws. They were starting to miss some late in the second half, but when things got tough, Tennessee got tougher. And that had not been the case all season. I'm glad it was for Tennessee yesterday.
It was, man. And not just that, the way the Vols were able to go at Virginia's bigs, too. Both of those guys, I think they have two of the top shot blockers in the NCAA with both over or close to over 100 blocks on the season. Like, that's saying a lot the way JP was able to go at him. Carey earlier was able to go at him as well, and creating some foul trouble for those dudes too, man, with physicality and how they played around the rim. I do got to give Virginia some credit as well. Their ability to get second chance rebounds was unique to them and kept them in it. It gave them a whole lot more opportunity. And to be quite honest with you, I feel like that's going to be a sticking point for teams playing against the Vols is their coaches emphasizing we have to beat them in offensive rebounds because the Vols do so good at it. And I feel like in the last two games that the Vols have played, they have seen that kind of uptick from the opposing squad more than I think so. You even have Miami, right, in a situation in which they were getting second chance opportunity playing around the rim. That game, by the way, too, we can go back to Friday night, if you will, for a second.
As stress-free of a Tennessee NCAA tournament game as I've watched in a long time.
But what about before the game? Like the lead up beforehand, the anxiety of they are some shooters, and then you see Rick Barnes just sit on the bench and be like, no, we don't subscribe to the way you're going to play. You will play our style. And they hit some shots, too. Was it 3 straight shots against Miami? Well, Miami opened up the game
so long ago, and that game was such a blowout that I don't even remember.
I do, because I was trash talking some potential Hall of Fame quarterback the entire time. Do you hear me, Will? People,
I know you were.
They asked me how I felt. Good. Okay? Ben Roethlisberger had to eat that one. But, again, it just shows you what Savage Ron Slayer said about a month ago. We were speaking about this team being undefeated. Ron, I got to give it to him. Savage said, I hope we play Miami. For a non-basketball dude like myself, I get it now. You know your team and you know what you're capable of as well. And again, it was met with physicality, the same thing that was needed against this Virginia squad. And the pace in which the Vols were able to control it with. What I did like, though, was that, though. They were able to get the ball up the court, I felt like, more aggressive than they have in the previous games. And it's benefiting them, man. I enjoy it. Hate the turnovers. 10 of them. Hate them. Unnecessary.
9 in the second half as well.
Unnecessary, Will. But they survive. And that's what it is sometimes, man. Just survive.
615-737-1045 is our number. Stream it live at 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. More numbers behind Jacoby Gillespie's sensational weekend. What made the difference for Tennessee? And we dive into Vanderbilt's heartbreaking loss to Nebraska as well. One step shy of their first Sweet 16 since 2007. After this on Ramon and Will.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, man. We've had a back and forth on this weather thing. It's like playing ping pong or something like that, man, or pickleball. It's hot, then it's cool, then it's chilled, then it's warm. If you're having any issue, I know this, with turning on or turning off or switching from heat to cool weather with your HVAC system and it's not working the way you need to, man, reach out to my people at Hiller. They're just good at what they do, because most of the time you don't know what it will cost you if you have an issue or if it'll get fixed right, or if somebody's trying to sell you something you do not need. I do know when you reach out to Hiller, the experts are going to solve your problems quickly. And on the pricing side of it, everything is expensive these days. What I would tell you is this: the price that you told is the price that you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises on your bill at all. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and are family owned and operated as well. Cool part about it, man, is when their techs are on the way to your house, they'll send you a link to your phone so you can track them in real time, so you're not sitting around wasting your time. They believe in this: happy you'll build the services free. If you're not satisfied with the work they've done, they'll give you your money back or fix it as best they possibly can. Listen, to book with them or learn more about them like I do, simply head over to happyhiller.com.
Hour one on this Monday morning edition of Ramon and Will live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Your phone calls at 615-737-1045. Tennessee gets it done over Virginia. Our story of the morning, Ramon, and the backcourt stepped up.
Yeah.
All season, we've talked so much about Jacoby Gillespie, and he was terrific yesterday. 21 points. Was just 6 of 14 for the field, but he did make 3 of 5 from 3. A perfect 6 of 6 at the line, and some big pressure free throws late as well to put this one away. I thought Bishop Boswell, though, made the difference. And a career-high 9 assists for the Tennessee sophomore guard, 13 points on 4 threes, Ramon. He'd never made 3 threes in a game.
I know.
And yesterday for Tennessee, he made 4 threes in the game.
I think it was, I heard Mike and Mike Keefe and Chris Lofton on the broadcast. I was riding around for a little bit yesterday coming from Springfield, Tennessee. And I think it was, 12 of the 16 shots or something. Like 9 of 10 shots were assisted in the first half, too. What it was, the assist ratio to shots made was very high, which to your point was showing that the Vols ball movement was elite. They were finding the open man around the perimeter or at the rim as well. The alley-oops to the bigs, the bigs alley-oop to me is by far, I think, the best play in college basketball.
It's so fun.
And that's what it is. I won't say it's the best shot. It's fun to watch bigs coordinate lobs to one another too, but when you do mention this team, man, that's still playing and going into the Sweet 16 from the state of Tennessee, then you have to also mention the way they are selfless with the ball. Sometimes I think too selfless, unless you're Jacoby Gillespie shooting from the logo.
I agree.
It was fun watching them kind of battle. Another point that was brought up as well too, and I'm taking it from somebody on Twitter. I'm not sure who it was, but this team, I don't think, led double digits for a long stretch, a long spell at any point in time. It was always 9 or they get up to 11 or back down to 10.
Biggest lead was 9, yep.
Biggest lead was 9, and that showed a different version of this squad from where they have big leads and then they blow them. But this time they were able to manage them, hold on to it, and thrive and win. And for as much flack as I know Nate meant against, I love his ability to know when to go. His IQ of saying, okay, ref giving me the whistle, I'm going to drive. I'm going to create a foul. I'm going to get to the line and stretch this lead out in ways I don't think we pay much attention to. Screw being, I heard somebody scream, a foul merchant. Damn that. The man knows how to play ball. He understands the chemistry in which the referees are allowing him to go or get fouled, and he's also getting beat. Like, I got to give it to him. He gets hacked a good bit, and that's what the entire tournament has been. Refs are swallowing the whistle.
Yeah, and he's a matchup nightmare.
Yeah.
Regardless of who you put on him, unless you have someone built like him. And there aren't many players who are built like Nate Ament as as agile and as graceful. I mean, at times, at 6'10", to be able to move the way he does at that size. If you put a forward on him, you're going to be a step slower, and you're trying to play from behind him a lot, and you're susceptible to fouls in that. And if you put a smaller guard on him, he gets hit on the elbow a lot. He gets pushed in the body a lot. The feet got tangled up yesterday on what ended up being the go-ahead free throws that put Tennessee in the lead they would never relinquish. But Nate Ament was 4 of 11 in this game, 1 of 3 from 3, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. He added 4 rebounds, had a couple of turnovers, had 1 steal, had a nasty block in this game as well. Tennessee was plus 12 with Nate Ament on the floor. He picked up his second foul in a really just bad moment. After a missed shot with 5:47 left in the first half, he sat until halftime. And Nate had 3 points on 1 of 5 shooting from the floor, making a corner 3 after missing a layup in the opening minutes. He started the second half by scoring Tennessee's first 8 points and had 10 in the first 6 minutes after halftime. It feels like Tennessee has 2 players, and usually they only have 1, but 2 players when the offense gets a little stagnant and starts to go into a lull that can just go get their own shot.
Right.
What I thought was significant yesterday, that number was up to 3 because Bishop Boswell was putting his head down with the intent to go and score. How many times, Ramon, have I said it this season? I want Bishop Boswell being more aggressive.
Yeah.
I want Bishop Boswell driving more. I want him getting in the lane, even if he's not the one finishing at the rim. Steve Lapis said it time and time again last night on the broadcast. I thought that booth did a terrific job, by the way, of him and Andrew Catalan and Evan Washburn. Penetration created windows to shoot. Virginia was not getting a ton of penetration until about the last 10 minutes. That's when they started going on their run, is because they started getting Hall and DeRitter downhill against Tennessee's bigs, and Tennessee's bigs were just tired, and you started to get to the rim. But Tennessee was able to penetrate and kick more. They're also able to just penetrate and finish at the rim, or just go get fouled and get to the free throw line. It's that ability for Tennessee guards to be more aggressive and say, I got you. I'm going to go get my own shot outside of the system, outside of the set plays that get you the lobs, get you the open threes, get you the shooter coming off the screen. It felt like there were less choreographed and set plays for Tennessee's offense, and more guys just finally taking ownership and saying, follow me. I'm going to go take us to the rim. Let's go get some points. Let's go get fouled. Let's go do something. Instead of just standing around and waiting for Nate to always do it, or Jacoby to always do it. I thought it was a really balanced approach. I thought J.P. Estrella, when he needed to fill it up, he was able to do that. Felix Okpara had better touch around the rim. And Jalen Carey was 4 of 5 from the field against the best shot blocking team in America. Did not have that on my bingo card.
I didn't either.
I thought he would have been way better against Miami and had way less of an impact against Virginia, against one of the best shot blockers in the country. Just hit him with the body, get him on the back foot, get up there, and then finish. Because how many times have we seen him use that up and under move and then not have the right touch off the glass, or just it's way too strong, or he can't totally get it up there before it's blocked? All things considered, I thought this was a really good offensive performance by Tennessee, and they made the shots when they needed to.
No doubt. I'm with you on Bishop Boswell. He played second most minutes, and he should have, right, too. The other one that you mentioned, I said I was going to go to as well, is J.P. Estrella, just mindlessly tossing up that baby hook shot. Or I'm talking about 8 feet around the rim, he's putting it in and not even thinking about it. That, to me, is his best shot other than the dunk, man, and he's good at it. He's consistent with it, and he knows how to use his body against those Virginia shot blockers, man, to get it done. It was late in the second half, and he tossed one up, and I think it put the Vols up by like 4 or 5 at the time right there. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, that's the guy we've been looking for. And we've been asking him, where are you going missing? Like, seeing what he did against South Carolina about a few weeks ago, like, you know he's got offense to his game. Do that and also stay out of foul trouble. If you stay out of foul trouble, JP, we don't have to worry about size mismatching or the fact that, hey, you don't have a tall big on the court and having to go with Jalen Carey the entire time. But you're right. Jalen, to me, I thought set the tone and how he was able to hit in the post and move their bigs around when, again, they have a high Virginia bigs have a high reputation of blocking shots as well, man. So kudos to them, and better at the free throw line too. I know Carey went 2 for 5, whatever it was, but again, getting to the stripe and causing them fouls, I thought was super unique, man. And I'm ecstatic about this one. This was a real good win for the Vols.
Tennessee was 19 of 25 from the free throw line after going 1 for 4 in the first half. They were 18 of 21 from the charity stripe in the second half.
Which was
much better.
Yeah. And on the other end of it, though, Virginia, 6 for 11.
Yeah, I mean, that is literally the difference of the game.
Yeah.
That is literally how many times have we seen Tennessee be right in it and then shoot 60% from the free throw line? It has been the consistent Achilles heel for Tennessee in its losses, and they were able to finally have an advantage in that category last night. We go to the phones where you can stop in at 615-737-1045. Adam is in Lebanon first up.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm just of the opinion that maybe James and the big dance has just been a little above amen. It's a little bit much for him. I mean, you watch Gillespie. Gillespie can care less if he's in the out back playing on the playground or if he's in the big dance. It doesn't affect him at all. But to me, amen, just been a little bit of hesitance, like it's a little bit too big for him. And if that is the case, is he really ready to step up and take on the NBA here in just a few weeks? That's all I got, guys. I appreciate it.
No doubt.
Thank you, Adam. The answer to your second question is yes.
The answer is yes.
Absolutely yes. He's ready to take on the NBA. He is the kind of talent that does not come around very often, Ramon, and the size and the skill matched together. That's just really not normal. The NBA is going to love him.
Yeah. I know where that comment comes from. First and foremost, it comes from, give me 1 second. There was a tweet last night about, it's Aaron Torres, respectfully. Aaron Torres tweeted out early in the game, this tournament, this moment might be too big for Nate Ament. And like that ain't the thing. To me, it is. I'll say this too. If you look at his recruiting and his pathway to this point, one, he still was a McDonald's All-American. Nate Ament also didn't play on the biggest basketball circuit. I think that was one of the knocks that team had against him, or people had, if you want to look at the pros and cons of him. He played with his squad. He didn't play with the bigger or the biggest travel teams when it comes down to the competition, all the tournaments and stuff like that, but you saw the talent. Adam, what I would tell you is exactly as you just said. The NBA teams see his potential. That's what you're getting from. And I would also think as well, like there's still adjustment being made from Nate. He's added about 20 pounds since getting on campus. The stroke is there. The handles is there. The body is there. The mind also is there too. Like, I think we want him to be AJ DeBonsa, right? Or we want to be one of the Boozer twins, a big Cameron Boozer, right? But there are different levels of projecting top 10 picks or NBA talent, and Nate has that projectable. He can shoot it. Is he all the way finished? No. We saw a guy about 4 years ago from Florida State get drafted in the first round, I think number 7 overall, that averaged 2.2 points a game. Potential. Nate's not a finished product, and I think Nate will tell you that. I think that's why Rick Barnes wanted him at Tennessee, was to create and mold him more. And if you probably look at where he was in his travel circuit versus where he is right now, you see what other teams are seeing in him as well. I get what you're saying. You want him to be Cam Boozer. And right now, he ain't got the weight of Cam. I don't think he has the experience as Cam Boozer has right now. And he's definitely not Darius Acuff Jr. as well.
And those are, I mean, you're talking about two of the best freshmen we've seen in college basketball, not only this year, but in the last 10 years.
Right.
I think for Nate, I wouldn't say the moment is too big. I just think you're seeing some of the same mistakes that we've seen all season from him. I don't think this has been any different. I do think the ankle and the knee issues are definitely a part of it.
He grabbed it a lot last night.
And he got landed on in the first half. And clearly, I mean, Andrew Catalon was saying it on the broadcast. Like, he's wincing. Yeah. He doesn't look great. I mean, the entire Tennessee staff has said 10 times at this point, Nate Ament is not going to be 100% this basketball season. He will be 100% when he can rest for a month or more in the upcoming offseason. So I think you've got to bake that into your evaluation of Nate in this tournament. Mm-hmm. And really, since the injury that he had against Alabama and the game he played against Vanderbilt, like, he's not healthy.
No.
And he didn't look healthy whatsoever. He doesn't look totally comfortable. Credit to him, though, being a one-and-done player, it'd be really easy for him to just be Darren Peterson.
Right.
And say, nah, guys, I don't need this. Because he really doesn't. I mean, in terms of his NBA draft stock,
he's projected.
In a culture of college athletics that is more me-focused than maybe it's ever been in the history of sports, this guy is a team-first superstar. Mm-hmm. Don't take that for granted.
No. But for Vols fans that watch it, I get where you're coming from and how you see him. Aaron Torres tweeted out last night, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
Yeah, it was a little harsh from him, a little premature.
It was.
Before the game was even over.
I know. And then he finishes with double digits again. I mean, he's doing what you needed. He helped close out that game last night, Adam. And I'm not attacking
Scored the winning points.
It's just, it's more than what we see on the college level of what he'll be asked to do at the NBA level. And he's young.
Nebraska 74, Vanderbilt 72. Braden Frager with a driving layup with 2.2 seconds left, sending the Cornhuskers to their first ever Sweet 16 in their second ever NCAA tournament win in program history. They will take on Iowa, who knocked off Florida in the next round in a game that is going to need a heavy police presence. Iowa, Nebraska. I say that jokingly. Heartbreaker for Vanderbilt. 27 points from Tyler Tanner, who was inches away from a 30th point that would have sent Vanderbilt on to their first Sweet 16 since 2007. It has been that long for Vanderbilt. Tyler Nickel found his shot in this game, 16 points. It felt like a Nebraska home game, which I know that state is close to Oklahoma City. That's still not a close drive from Lincoln. And credit to the Nebraska fans that made that a very hostile atmosphere. I wonder how this game goes if Duke Miles doesn't have his injury. He had his left thumb taped, was held to just 9 points. He was a bit quieter. Tyler Tanner didn't have his running mate. But Ramon, Tyler Tanner still about pulled this off without Duke Miles giving him a ton of offensive production. This is as heartbreaking as a loss as anyone will have in this NCAA tournament.
No doubt about it. Tyler Tanner, man, and he to me is in a rare group this year. I don't know pound for pound if there's a tougher guy. Darius Acuff Jr., and I think Darius got a little bit weight and maybe height on him as well when it comes down to Tyler Tanner. But as far as pound for pound, competitor, athlete, ball knower, he's tier one.
He's the most improved player year over year in college basketball.
A true sophomore,
from
Will?
25 to 26, yes.
He's
yes.
Vandy, man, if y'all want to pay him, it's going to cost you probably $10 million.
I'm really interested to see how that plays out.
Me too. I'm not sure how they project him, considering he wasn't one of those McDonald's All-Americans. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have ways, but like his development and just talent is shown in March Madness in ways I don't think even the Coach Byington probably thought this was going to happen for him as well. He's been the straw to stir this drink for the most part of this year. And when guys aren't stepping up, it's him. It's been him, man, whether it's still in the basketball, making points, or just been a tone setter for him. And the part that I think that's super unique about his game that he's shown, and I think he had to, he will steal the ball and go above the rim to finish. Height doesn't matter to a guy like him, man. It's been fun watching him if he does go to the NBA this year. But all fingers point to him leaving. I just don't know if he can get any hotter.
Well, so the latest ESPN NBA mock draft from Jeremy Wu has him going 32nd to the New York Knicks.
32nd?
Mm-hmm. In the final, or the second pick of the second round. Vanderbilt's got the money to keep him around.
Yeah.
And I expect them to obviously send a full court press to keep him.
Or does he come to Knoxville?
No. That would surprise me. That would surprise me. I mean, I don't know. If he's available, you got to offer him. Vandy 13 of 37 from three in this one. They did out-rebound Nebraska 11-5 on the offensive glass. I thought Devin McLaughlin, A.K. Okereke, I thought the front line kind of stepped up and gave Vandy a chance here with the way Tyler Tanner had to do it more himself in the backcourt without Duke Miles giving as much offensive production. It was still Nebraska, though, when Vandy was on defense inside, really just having their way in the paint. 38-22, winning in points in the paint. The difference was free throws. Again, Vandy was uncharacteristically not good from the free throw line. 11 of 19 for the free throw line is all it took to lose this one.
Where was this free throw shooting team when the Vols played?
In the first game, that's what happened too. I mean, they missed some big ones in Memorial when Tennessee won right down the road.
As a team, 11 for 19, yeah. Cool. All right, but Tyler Tanner going 6 of 9. You also have
not like them.
Devin McLaughlin 0 for 4. Like just box score watching. Like where was that? To your point, what's the difference when he started missing? I think Tyler missed 2 at one time. I'm just like, okay, something's fully off, or maybe he just got wore down as well. Because that's the thing too. Nebraska kept it hot. They were ready to run up and down the court, and they absolutely did. You got to give credit to them as well, man, to have the moxie to kind of close that game out the way they did as well. It was a real good game.
615-737-1045, the number as we wrap up hour number one. There was a quote over the weekend that perfectly, Ramon, summed up the current state of Kentucky basketball. And you'll hear it coming up next. Wrapping up hour one on your Monday morning. Ramon and Will reacting to a weekend of madness in the NCAA tournament. Iowa State will take on Tennessee in the Sweet 16 at 9:10 p.m. Central on Friday night. Go ahead and get your coffee pots ready now. Couldn't imagine being in Eastern time for that, but we live in the Lord's time zone, so that's great for us. Alec Busey, I don't know how to say his last name, says on Twitter, Iowa State writer, Nate Heiss talks to the media. Iowa State player says they knew Kentucky would lie down if Iowa State took a big lead. This is Iowa State guard Nate Heiss speaking after a blowout win for Iowa State over Kentucky.
And I think that's something that we kind of identified before the game, even of the potential for them to do that. And the way that we just turned them over and played our defense to where it didn't look like they could do anything else. I think when you get them to that point, it's like, let's just be done. I think that's their mindset. So it was good to get them to that point.
Oof. 19-point loss from Kentucky in an 82-63 defeat. Kentucky's largest defeat in an NCAA tournament game, Ramon, since 1972. And you got Iowa State guards telling the media after the game, yeah, we knew if we got up on them, they'd quit. They'd roll over. If you need any quote to perfectly sum up what Kentucky basketball was in 25 and 26, that was it right there.
What a sting. What a level of disrespect. Like, to say that, like, from the opposing side, and they don't have to see them again. They don't have to see, Iowa State again. You talk like that when you don't have to see them again, number one, but you also talk like that, too, when you've executed the game plan and what you thought about them before the game actually happened. Like, what did Iowa State see on their tape that made that a reality for them as well? Like, we knew this team had its issues, and they still had a lot of talent. I'm not sure if it's Mark Pope's inexperience as a head coach. I don't know if it's too much to handle when it comes down to the history of what UK basketball is as well. But for that to even be in the same conversation with the coaches that they've had there for years is blatantly disrespectful. And then you get to a podium and then you say it. That's tough for a blue blood to deal with. And not just that, though, Will, the score at the end of the game was, they absolutely smacked them, 82-63, and it was bigger than that at portions of the game as well. And the issue is, of course, and everybody's paying. Screw the paying part of it, right? But you do have to have some type of standard if you're going to dish that type of bread out to the type of players. Like, they went and stole Aberdeen from Florida. Like, all things were pointing in the right direction for Kentucky. And for this to be the X that you have in around the 32 when you have all the talent as well, that's low class right there. They got a decision to make on Mark Pope. And I don't know if it happens this year, but if the KRS guys, KSR guys are thinking about throwing stuff at the refs, they need to go down to Lexington and have a strong conference call with Mark Pope, because you just can't allow that.
It's a rough day for the Kentucky fans who cover the team.
We want to reference the tweet that KSR put on.
Sure, why not? Matt Jones, Kentucky Sports Radio.
Famous, by the way.
They have built a powerhouse.
Yes, they have.
Up there in media. I respect the heck out of the overall brand of what Kentucky Sports Radio is. I think Matt's a good guy, too. I got nothing against him personally. It's just, it's funny to read his Twitter replies when Kentucky loses, but I don't have any issue with it. Host of Kentucky Sports Radio at KY Sports Radio. He tweeted during the game. Where is it? I got to find the exact words. Gosh,
he's getting ratioed right now. He's trying to bury that.
Here it is. I was very close to talking trash to a referee from press row, so I decided it was my time to exit the building. Brother, that is not the flex you think it is.
You shouldn't be tweeting out.
I don't know if I'd admit that live in 4K for the world to see.
Sometimes sending a text is a whole lot safer than tweeting out your emotions. Your group chat is going to like that type of text.
That fan base, and part of it felt justified in the moment, but and Matt specifically, because there's, again, in 4K, there's evidence of it. Took a victory lap when John Calipari left and, in their eyes, did them a favor by saving them buyout money to go to Arkansas. Can we say that Cal won the divorce, Ramon?
Yeah, he did.
I think he did.
He did. He bought the kids better gifts for sure.
I think it's one of those, and I'll almost compare it to Mike Vrabel's exit with the Titans. It's one of those where the exit itself wasn't the issue. It's how you replaced the guy that left. Mark Pope is in over his head. He is in over his head. I know they had injuries this year. I know Matt Jones had made the point. I was watching one of his videos on Twitter yesterday. They still were healthy for a couple games. They went 0-2 when they had everybody. They missed Quaintance, who's coming off the ACL. You didn't have to take a guy off an ACL, pay him the NIL money you did, but you decided to. You got to deal with the ramifications when that guy can't end up being healthy and can't play. It's also Kentucky. This is Kentucky we're talking about. This is not the kind of program that gets to make the excuse that one player's hurt and all of a sudden the whole season goes down the drain. You're Kentucky for crying out loud. Act like it. So we're going to see. I think Mark Pope probably gets another year. I think you give him one last chance to learn his lesson this year and take the war chest that he's given and build a roster the right way.
Right.
But things are bleak right now for Kentucky basketball.
It's funny, though, too, because we've kind of switched, like, coaches for certain styles. I feel like you got Mark Pope who can beat Coach Barnes in the regular season. He's just kind of run the gambit on that one as well, and that's cute for about 4 days. Losing the way he has in this tournament, right, or the SEC tournament kind of stings for a very long time because that's where the fan base comes out in droves to support and to have an expectation in the postseason basketball. That's a big issue right there. Regular season is fine. And I think that's the lesson for everybody almost in a sense. It's like, it's cool what you do during the regular, but like this tournament and the SEC tournament matters way more. And to have Iowa State players say that we knew they would lay down, that's got to be bulletin board material for any player walking in after this year.
615-737-1045. How you jump in as hour 2 begins. Up next, Tony Keeley in about 25 minutes talking interior offensive line in the NFL draft this morning. But when we come back, the coach that was on the winning side of the game of the weekend had an awesome quote about his team's ability to win at the buzzer. Rick Patino's Johnnies delivered the moment of the tournament so far. You'll hear from him coming up next.
7:02. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Tennessee basketball moves on to the Sweet 16 for the fourth straight year after beating three-seeded Virginia 79-72 on Sunday. Jacoby Gillespie had 21 points in 38 minutes. The Vols will now play two-seed Iowa State Friday night at 9:10 Central in Chicago. Vanderbilt lost a close one Saturday to Nebraska 74-72 despite Tyler Tanner's 27 points and 4 steals. Tanner's last-second heat from beyond half-court rimmed out, and the Commodore season went final. And then an upset last night as 9-seed Iowa upset number 1 seed Florida in the South region 73-72. Alvaro Vulgaris nailed a three-pointer with 4.5 seconds left, and Iowa moves on to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 27 years. They'll play Nebraska. Nashville Soccer Club blanked Orlando City SC 5-0 Saturday night at Geodis Park and remained unbeaten to start the season. Sam Surridge scored his 4th career hat trick and was his 3rd multi-game goal of the year. And Philip Forsberg scored twice as the Nashville Predators won their 4th straight after a 3-2 overtime win over the Blackhawks yesterday. The Preds have 75 points and now hold the 2nd wildcard spot in the Western Conference with just 12 games left to play in the year. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour number 2 on this Monday morning edition of Ramon and Will. Glad you are with us. That sun will shine a little bit brighter this morning when it appears out of the clouds if you're a Vols fan, as Tennessee dances on to a 4th straight Sweet 16, beating Virginia yesterday 79-72 in the second round of the NCAA tournament in Philadelphia. A date with Iowa State coming up at 9:10 p.m. Central Time. Disgusting. In Chicago this Friday night. Ramon, what impressed you the most about the way Tennessee was able to put away Virginia yesterday afternoon?
Free throws. Let's just start there. And then, of course, Bishop Boswell playing a huge part. I think that was most impressive. I'm most impressed by Bishop Boswell, just introduction to this team again in the tournament when you needed him the most. I would even say Jacoby Gillespie with a flamethrower. And the guy that I'm always big on, man, if he can get going, is J.P. Estrella. Just around the rim, making shots. He ain't no 12 to 15 points a night type of guy, but when he get it and when he's confident in his shot, it ain't many people that can mess with the Vols. When you got him and you got Felix Okpara being able to just protect the rim the way they do as well. So I'm going Bishop. I'm going the long ball from Jacoby, and, of course, the bigs in the paint. By the way, they keep calling him Okpara on the broadcast.
That was Steve Lapis having a bit of a New York accent.
Okay.
I think that's how he was always going to say anything that ended with Ara.
Okay, era is how he goes.
Okpara is correct.
Okay.
Steve Lapis was calling him Okpara because he has a thick Northeast accent.
Yeah, but the bigs were good, man, but Bishop was a huge part of this one, man. He got them going and sustained what they had already started.
Tennessee in this game had 5 players in double figures. And in different phases of the game, different groups of Tennessee players were the driving force on offense. You started off with Jacoby Gillespie. You started off hot, as did Bishop Boswell, who had a 8 seconds into the game. Then at one point, you played a little bit more traditionally inside out with Jalen Carey, really providing Tennessee some really good minutes in this game. With J.P. Estrella on the bench with 2 fouls. Tennessee does not make the Sweet 16 without Jalen Carey's impact.
No.
I mean, he has been far from perfect this year. There are even times in this game where he made you want to pull your hair out when he, again, missed 2 straight free throws and was 2 of 5 from the free throw line. But that is what you need Jalen Carey to be. If he can give you 10 points and a couple of boards night in and night out, Tennessee's going to have a good chance.
I'm going to be real. I'll take his physicality that he brings an attitude, too. I think
he's a good tone setter off the bench.
No doubt about it, because the way they downshift when he's in to slow the ball down and work the paint because he can position himself and around the rim, I'll fight. I'll live that life with him. Like you said, long spells, yeah, you got a question. Okay, Jalen, which version are we going to get today? But when he's been productive the way he was, and like I said, 2 for 5 from the free throw line ain't Well, yeah, 2 for 5 from the free throw line ain't what you want, but around the rim, he was good. Going up.
For him, he's had worse days than that.
No doubt.
At the free throw line,
No
including
doubt.
Tennessee's last loss to Vanderbilt in the SEC tournament. I thought he was exactly what Tennessee needed in that spot without J.P. Estrella. And considering the size difference between him and the Virginia big men who have the best shot blocking defense in all of college basketball, I was floored that he shot 80% from the floor.
Yeah, seriously. Good on them, too. I mean, as much as they possibly could, too. One thing the Vols got to watch when he's in is the switches. Every team that's gotten a switch on Jalen Carey while he's been in, their guards or their ball handlers, man, continue to just pull up on them. And you know that's his deficiency as well. But as you said, too, like you kind of live that life because the defense has been good. They kind of keep them close to him. But, again, when you got a big against a guard, like that's just a hard matchup. It's not like it's, to that point, Felix Okpara, who's really good at guarding 1 through 5.
St. John's in Kansas, Ramon, yesterday may have been the game of the tournament, outside of maybe Kentucky Santa Clara with the late game heroics of Otega Owe on Friday afternoon. Dylan Darling hit a layup as time expired for his only bucket of the game. We used to have the Jack Golkeys of the world. We used to have these incredible players from schools you had to look up on a map to see where they were located, who were like 13, 14 seeds. In the NIL and transfer portal era, those guys still exist. They just play for 5 seeds and 6 seeds and 9 seeds, like Iowa, who we'll talk about here in an hour or two as well. Dylan Darling went from no-name programs like Washington State and Idaho State, ended up in a spot where he wanted the ball for St. John's to send them to their first Sweet 16 since 1999 against Kansas. Post-game, head coach Rick Patino had this to say about the final sequence.
But here's the amazing thing and the funniest thing I've ever been involved with. So we're going to run a play, but they got fouls to give. And Bells comes up to me and says, run power, which is a high back screen pick and roll. So I walk away. I said, okay, power. I walk away and said, wait a second. He hasn't scored a bucket and he wants to run a play for himself. And I'm thinking as I'm walking, I said, but he's Bells. And not only did he do it, he went with his right hand. So I'm real proud of him because to want the ball when you haven't made a shot is unbelievable. So both of these guys had a major impact in us winning tonight. I'm so happy for St. John's and the fans. We had great fans out here. And we get to go to D.C. And I'm just so jubilant, so happy for the fellas. We've taken it another step now, so it's just awesome. Proud of our guys, and now it's just starting. The fun's just starting.
Rick Patino after the game. It's so crazy, Ramon, it worked to call a play for a guy with a tie ball game and 3.9 seconds left who had not made a shot all night.
It's crazy. As a coach, don't be wrong. That's what you tell him in that moment. But clearly he's built for it. Dylan Darling is the name. Why was he calling him Bells? Do we know Dylan Bells, I guess? Darling Bells? I have no idea.
No clue.
He's a junior man from Spokane, Washington that's had just nerves of steel to toss it up. And I'm guessing Coach Patino is alluding to the fact that he's a lefty shooting the ball right-handed.
Yeah.
It was a touch off the glass. I heard his post-game commentary. He's like, he didn't even see the ball hit the ground or go through it. He just heard the crowd erupt the way it did. And that's what this defining moments are about, man, in March Madness. You have a coach that has a play. You know it's going to work for him. It's the idea that this guy's had zero production. I'm talking about none if you look at, like, his game. 18 minutes, 1 for 5 from the field, the game winner, 0 for 4 from the from the 3-point line, and no free throws. Like, zero production whatsoever for this team, and he's asking for the ball. I guess the worst thing that happens is they go to overtime, but legitimately close it out like that with the ball going through with the red lights on, absolute cinema, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I picked them to go through. I'm not bragging on this one.
Sure.
A little bit, okay? Take that, good people.
Yeah, you earned that right, though.
But legitimately, that team is good. This is the type of win that can absolutely push you to a deeper run, and it just shows you, again, good coaching. I will say this, though. I don't really Like, I'm not deep into Kansas Jayhawks basketball like that. But you also have to feel for Bill Self just a little bit. Like, he's won a lot. Nobody's asking for sympathy for him. But this type of game and how it's kind of played out for him and the heart issues that he has, man, I'm sure he's toying with, I'm not sure, retirement or just his overall health, because he brought that up afterwards, too.
And since you brought that up, that is, if I'm a Vanderbilt fan, my nightmare.
What's that?
The Kansas job coming open.
Oh.
Because you've got one of the hot commodities in the coaching community in all of college basketball in Mark Byington. I don't think there are many programs Mark Byington would leave Vanderbilt for. I think Kansas is absolutely one of them. Kansas is a top 5 job, if not top 1 job in all of college basketball.
I mean, if they call, you're coming, right?
But, I mean, it depends on the person. Not everyone's wired the same way.
Of course.
Mark Byington may have everything he needs at Vandy and in Nashville with the NIL and the resources, and Candace Story-Lee has done a phenomenal job creating a space in the athletic department at Vanderbilt to where good coaches want to stay and good coaches have the resources they need to win. That being said, if I'm a Vanderbilt fan, that's what I am horrified of, is a blue blood like that calling Mark Byington.
It's a new era for Vandy. Like, and I say this with respect, but
You're
like,
wanted.
In the last year and a half, you have the football coach getting broke off and have to be broke off. You have Diego Pavia getting broke off. You have Jared Curtis coming in, having to get broke off. If you have Tyler Tanner back, he's got to get broke off. If Mark Byington...
Broke off, by the way, if you don't know, means get paid.
Get paid. Get paid, young fellas, get paid.
Who do not understand.
Okay? But you have Mark Byington. If they do come calling at Kansas, that will have to be paid to keep around. And here's another one. Michaela Blake's is another one that they will have to increase her payment on. And I know they got the bread for it, but like this is a new...
Yeah, they definitely have it.
This is a new era in how to, if we could speak about sustaining what you've built, because you've shown us now.
You've built it, now keep doing it.
Yeah, and that's all. I'm saying this is just a new challenge for what we know in this NIL era.
It's the privilege and the price of progress.
Yes. Michaela, by the way, she ice cold.
Bill Self was asked, well, what is next for your career? He said, I love what I do. I need to be able to do it where I am feeling good and healthy to do it. I'll get back home and it will all be discussed. 63-year-old head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks, Bill Self. That game included 2 of the 3 active coaches with multiple national titles, Rick Patino and Bill Self. Patino moves on. The other coach, also in the Sweet 16, and Dan Hurley.
I have a comment that says, I think Mark Byington has got to reach the Sweet 16 for Kansas to want him. Not if Bill Self is out.
No, I think Kansas would already want him.
Right? Like, you see what the projection is with what they have in-house currently.
Yes.
And, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you're also looking at. Like, a national championship coach or Sweet 16 coach usually doesn't leave, right? I mean, they do. My point is Kansas calling? If Kansas calls.
I would. Guy can coach.
Can coach.
Can absolutely coach. Ben McCollum, I think, would be the first call at Iowa. Who just took them in one season to the Sweet 16 over Florida yesterday. But, I think there are a lot of big names out there, a lot of good coaches who Kansas would want, and I think Mark Byington is absolutely in the conversation. Coming up, Stoney Keeley joins us, the Ramon and Will draft expert of football and other F words and stacking the inbox. We scout interior offensive line options for the Tennessee Titans after this. What's happening? It's Will Bowling. Is your home's air conditioning ready to keep up with the warmer months ahead? We had record temperatures over the weekend in Nashville. You may have realized, my AC unit is not ready for summer. And you know that with the official start of spring now, summer will be here before you know it. Lee Company has you covered. Lee Company's team of professional technicians will give your home's AC tune-up that tune-up it needs to be working the right way, as well as seasonal cleaning and maintenance to help you stay ahead of the heat and humidity. The time to do this is now, everybody, when it is still comfortable at night a little bit, when the temperatures aren't quite as bad. Don't let your AC fail this spring and summer. There's nothing worse than coming home from work and all of a sudden you feel like you just got hot air in the house. Head to LeeCompany.com to schedule your appointment today with the pros at Lee Company, a business that has been in business for over 80 years here in Middle Tennessee. Again, online at LeeCompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need. Shifting gears from the hardwood to the NFL draft in hour 2 of Ramon and Will. Ramon Foster and Will Boulding at Ramon and Will, where you can follow and stream the show on Twitter. Stoney Keeley joins us now, 7:20 on every Monday leading up to the NFL draft. Stacking the inbox. And, of course, football and other F words on the Zone Podcast Network where you get his work. Stoney, what's up? Good morning.
Morning, Stoney.
Morning, gentlemen. It's a fine day out there. I do just want to warn you guys that I discovered this morning when I woke up that I didn't have any coffee left.
Uh-oh.
So I cannot be held responsible for the things I may say on this morning's segment.
I ain't even mad at it.
You just like me for real. So
Yeah.
the good news is that good interior offensive line talk, I know, gets you fired up the way it gets us fired up, as I would argue the show that is more pro interior offensive line than any radio show this side of the Mississippi, maybe either side of the Mississippi. When we look at the center class, Stoney, with the Titans needing to add one, and we'll get to right guard here this morning as well, do you like the options the Titans have overall in this class at center?
Yeah, I think the options at center in this class are intriguing developmental guys, but I don't know if there's one in this class that I watched and I say that's a guy that's going to be ready to go week one. I'm a big fan of Sam Hecht, the scrappy center out of Kansas State. But he's a little bit undersized, and you kind of see it sometimes. I mean, he plays like a barnacle. He just sticks and moves with you, and you can't get rid of him. But size is an issue. You see him get driven around a little bit sometimes, and got news for you. The guys ain't going to get any smaller at the next level. So I think something like that could be an issue. So when I'm looking at the center class, it's a lot of guys that are like that where, yeah, the tape is probably good, but they've got that one thing that they've really got to work on if they're going to be successful at the next level.
Stoney, I'm curious on Connor Lew from Auburn, who, if he hadn't torn his ACL in October, would probably be, fair to say, the name at center. Are the Titans, in your opinion, Stoney, a team that is in position to take a chance on a player like this, knowing that he doesn't need to be ready right away because you did sign Austin Schlottman. You also have, obviously, Jackson Slater in the mix as well. What does the film show you about Connor Lew, and does it make sense to take a risk like this?
Yeah, well, I mean, they may have to if they want to get one of these guys that stands a chance to really the best center out of this class. Draft stock is kind of a funny thing, right? It ebbs and flows throughout the season. You have guys that are listed in the top 5 in June that aren't even draftable by the end of the season. Things change all the time when it comes to draft stock. But at one point, Connor Lew was kind of considered, hey, this might be a fringe first-round guy. And you look at the size and power with Lew, and he's got that wrestling background. And this is a guy that, you know, if you want to run the ball, he's a guy that can really get your run game going downhill. I watch the tape and think he moves a little stiff in space. And on top of that, now he's had a season-ending injury that cut his year short in October, if I'm not mistaken. So now there's medical concerns on top of that. It's kind of like, you know, what kind of team do you want to be? Because it feels like you're going to have to mirror that mindset with your offensive linemen. So, I mean, do you need the rangy, speedy guy that can really get up to the second level and secure those blocks? Or do you want the guy that's going to help you run the ball, move downhill? If that's the case, I do like Lew quite a bit. And then the conversation just becomes, is he going to be ready, and can we afford to wait on him to be ready? And I think if you're looking for safer options that still have some upside, yeah, he's probably near the top of the class for me too. So a good player that, again, I come back to this theme with the centers in this class, just has a couple of those questions that need to be answered.
Joined by Stoney Keeley, a football and the F words, a draft analyst this morning, known coffee lover, and also a cat daddy as well. Just want to throw that cat daddy part out there, okay? Stoney, it's interesting you bring up, none of these guys are probably just draftable plug-and-play type of guys because I feel like the interior offensive lineman is such a developmental just position in the NFL because there is such a big difference in the speed, the size, the consistency of playing that position, also the lack of numbers too. Stoney, like for the guys that are on the interior guard and center, what pops out for that position if a parent has a kid that wants to play that position? Or how do you become unique, Stoney, in your eye in playing those positions?
Well, I think certainly, Ramon, it's a situation where the tape don't lie. And we can sit and say, well, a player could be this, a player could be that, and he needs to work on this to get to that, and, footwork and hand usage and play in space and all this stuff. But the bottom line of it comes down to if you ain't putting it out there on the tape, it's going to be hard for teams to really notice you because if it's out there, let me tell you something, these scouts are going to find you. And I think it's kind of that being comfortable in your own skin kind of thing. And just doing what you do best and raising your floor a little bit. Like, I think about a guy near the top of this interior offensive line class, Chase Basantis from Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. Good enough athlete, but, just really high floor in terms of the technique. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like if you're doing the little things and if you're just comfortable with that, you're not trying to do too much, it kind of opens up a pathway for you to be a little more dominant on tape. And if you're routinely beating the guy in front of you, that's going to pop on the tape. Scouts are going to find you, and that's how you raise your ceiling. Does that make sense?
It does.
You raise your ceiling by raising your floor?
Yep. I was talking to a young prospect, man, that's not draft eligible yet, and I said, listen, if you embrace this interior role, it's like, one, there's money to be made now in today's NFL. I said, but as far as the interior guys go, like you get on draft highlights by making highlights, Stoney, showing your athleticism. Yeah. If you can be a role grader up front, if you are a pull down the field, get yourself set up in a screen clip type of offensive lineman, that's where I feel like you elevate yourself on the interior offensive line. It's not just, hey, I'm blocking my guy. No, you got to show your athleticism in today's NFL at those spots, and I think those are the guys that become super unique.
Yeah, would absolutely agree. And then, if you can play a couple spots along that interior, if you can switch left to right, if you can snap the ball, you can show them that you can do multiple things. That's something that's going to stand out because you see these guys that look at the lineman and they say, well, we can find somewhere for him because this guy plays hard and he's got some athleticism. So, I mean, you're right. The game kind of changes, right? With Tyler Linderbaum getting that $27 million, everybody's talking about, like, what does this do for the center market? But, if I'm a guard, if I'm Peter Skoronski, for example, I'm looking at that and saying, hey, man, centers are getting $27 million a year now. Y'all need to help me out here. So it's changing a little bit in that regard, but yeah, that's good stuff this morning.
Man, speaking of finding somewhere to place him, because I got this guy is almost a tweener, man. One, how rich do you think the Titans could be at drafting that position? Like how early? And could that guy be essentially, in my eyes, Caden Proctor?
Yeah, so I'm not ruling anything out with this interior class because I think now I think they've done a fine job patching it up in free agency with, it's duct tape guys. It's like, we're not going to expect, these aren't our long-term starters, but you hope Jackson Slater turns into that. And I'm a big fan of Jackson Slater. And I think that, he does have a future in the NFL, but you got two spots that are open now. You're thinking about the future. Jackson Slater can't play two spots at once. So I do think that they're going to be looking for a guy early in the draft that still has some upside that could be a developmental, foundational kind of piece. And if Caden Proctor slips to 35, man, I wouldn't hate it at all. A guy that I think it's tricky. I feel like we've talked about this, Ramon. Forgive me. I can't remember if it was on the air or not, but how you set a guy up for success matters. Like, if he's going to play tackle, are you going to put him outside until he fails and therefore his move inside is predicated on failure from the jump? Or do you just draft him and kick him inside to guard right away? When I watch Proctor, I think he's a guy that would benefit from just kick him inside right away. Yeah. He's a mountain of a man. He's got some real drive and run blocking. There are some issues with the balance sometimes that I watch him and I'm thinking a guy that big should not be off balance the way he is. And it feels like sometimes he gets a little rushed at the edge, maybe trying to do a little bit too much and gets a little out of position. But if you eliminate that from him, where he doesn't have to dance around with guys at the edge, I think he could be one of these like 10-year guards at the next level because of his size, his power, his athleticism for his size and frame. So I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. It's kind of one of those situations where you look at it and you say, okay, well, we're not really worried about tackle to guard, but can he go left to right? And we tend to assume that every guy can just do that. We can just say it and it makes it okay, but we've seen time and time again that not every guy can handle that switch from left to right. So those would be my questions, but I would not be disappointed if he's there at 35 and the Titans think this is our guard of the future to go ahead and pull the plug on that pick. I'm trying to condition people now because I don't want anybody to be blindsided if they take one of these interior guys way earlier than we're expecting right now.
Stoney Keeley, our guest this morning on Ramon and Will, the home of another 10-plus year NFL interior offensive lineman, of course. Stoney, what would be the dream scenario for the Titans to find a right guard in this draft? Is there a name or two that you think in a perfect world ends up going to the Titans? And where do you think that sweet spot is where they, in a perfect world, are able to find that player?
Yeah, so I think this is a really good class for the Titans to dip into for a couple of reasons. For one, it's pretty guard rich with guys that play guard, but when you factor in the guys that play tackle that are probably going to play guard at the league or at the next level, I think you kind of exponentially increase your options to hit on one of these guys. There's a lot of options for the Titans. Second, I think the best offensive linemen in this class, near the top of the class too, play on the right side, which is where their hole is. So I think they're kind of fortunate that their needs align with the draft in that regard. I think there's going to be a real sweet spot on day 2 of the draft where you're gonna see the league just clean house on these starting caliber guards and center. For me, I'm looking at pick 66, and I'm going down to Georgia Tech for a look at Keelan Rutledge, who played right guard for them. This is a guy that is a bear trap off of the snap. He's got some power. He can move. The Georgia Tech program runs a lot of like misdirection stuff. So, like the guy can get out and move in space. He's probably not the biggest, fastest, speediest guy, but like just gets the job done really solid. And he has the finisher's mindset that you look for. This is a guy that at Senior Bowl practices, the coaches had to kind of pull him to the side and said, hey man, can you, like, we get it. Can you just tone it down a little bit for this? We don't want anybody getting hurt today. So he also has been working out snapping the ball this offseason too throughout the draft process. So a guy that the Titans have met with throughout the process, I think it was back at the Combine, that I think really plays with the right mindset, the right skill set, could be a player in the league, but you're probably going to have to spend that 66th pick to get him at least. Some options late, I still really like a guy out of Texas A&M, Trey Zune III, another guy that you talk about could play multiple spots, did play multiple spots for Texas A&M. He was their left tackle quite a bit. He played a lot of center. He can play guard, a guy that you kind of want to come off the bench as the sixth man, but square frame. He's got some power. He's got some drive, really good developmental prospect. And then the last one I would mention is Alex Harkey out of Oregon. Right tackle for the Ducks, but probably going to kick inside at the next level. Another guy that is just sturdy and solid and kind of has a more polished game, can drive a guy back. So those are three interior guys that I'd be looking at for the Titans from day 2 to day 3.
I love it. Keelan Rutledge, 9.62 relative athletic score. Also, he had a 7.54 3-cone.
He's a dude.
Yeah, you're talking me into that one. I like what I'm seeing on a couple of read-throughs on him this morning. Stoney Keeley with us, our guest leading up to the NFL draft. We're just about a month away, Stoney. Sneaking up on us just a little bit. Appreciate you as always. We'll do it again next week.
Stoney, we could just do this for hours on top of hours. So you hear me?
That's what I'm saying. I gotta hold myself back this morning because I'm thinking I've been talking for the last 10 minutes of this show just nonstop. I haven't even taken a breath.
You know what's crazy?
I do it all the time.
I give you a nice little quotable for Keelan Rutledge, okay, that Coach Tom used to say all the time. I'd rather say woe than sick 'em. He's a woe guy.
Ain't that the truth? I'll drink to that.
I love it.
Whenever you get some coffee, you'll drink to it.
Thank you, Stoney. We'll talk to you next week. Love it.
All right, guys, let's have a Monday. Take care.
Yes, sir. Stoney Keeley with us this morning. I love how much he loves talking offensive line.
It is a beautiful art piece.
One of the many things we love about Stoney.
To be quite honest with you, the biggest guys on the field, to me, is like ballet. Okay, that's the way you got to appreciate offensive line. If you enjoy the ballet arts, you know what I'm saying? Like if you enjoy that, you enjoy offensive line play because we're essentially the same type of human beings. Just being real.
Keelan Rutledge, the guard from Georgia Tech, he mentioned, at 6'4", 316, ran a 5.05 40. Yeah. With a 1.8, 110 yard split of the NFL draft.
Big boy moving, and he blocked for my
NFL
best
draft.
quarterback in the college ranks.
Yeah, you're a Haynes King guy.
King Haynes, either way you want to call it, okay? I'm here for it.
Coming up, the upset of the tournament happened last night. We give you our thoughts on Iowa, Florida after this.
Synergex and Low T Center have been highlighted for having the highest quality testosterone on the market, y'all. They only use pharmaceutical grade testosterone, never compounded testosterone. So I'm telling you, know what's going on or going in your body. Don't settle for the compounded mystery testosterone. Go with the safer, smoother TRT with real human providers at Synergex and Low T Centers, man. And I do mean that. You walk in, there's somebody up front, a human being to greet you. You're not talking to a monitor and having questions about what to do on the sign-in. Absolutely not. At Synergex and Low T Center, also, they dose their TRT more frequently than other clinics to make sure the testosterone levels are always optimal and don't dip below the baseline that you want for yourself or they set for you. This keeps your TRT smooth and keeps side effects in check. They also stay on top of your health with regular medical testing so they can make sure your TRT is always safe. And what I mean by that is this. They will take your blood, do your labs, make sure that your levels are intact, are in check so that you can function the way you need to. We worry about the outside all the time, but we also need to worry about what's going on inside of our bodies. Fellas, get over to TRT right now or get over to Synergex and Low T Center right now, or you can go to getmyhealthfix.com. That's getmyhealthfix.com.
Well, through the weekend, there were a lot of complaints about the lack of madness, the lack of magic in the NCAA tournament until a bunch of corn-fed Midwesterners for Iowa said, we got you. Ramon Will, wrapping up hour 2 this morning on 104.5 The Zone, 615-737-1045. The number, Iowa 73, Florida 72. Ramon, the first 1 seed to exit the dance floor. The Gators. There will be a new national champion in 2026. Alvaro Folgueras.
Tell it, Will.
With a 3-pointer with 4.5 seconds remaining as Iowa eliminates Florida. First-year head coach Ben McCollum has the Hawkeyes in the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2015. The play that he drew up for Folgueras to get a wide-open 3 was beautiful.
Yes, it was.
That's all I got.
Oh, okay.
Go for it.
No, it was phenomenal, man. I heard Charles Barkley on the postgame speaking about this, and Charles was almost upset and disappointed in Florida's head coach just because he's like, you're up. Why are you pressing right now? And they broke the press. Shout out to Iowa for breaking the press the way they did. That pass on the inbound was elite. Couldn't go anywhere else. Put it in the right spot. And why Chuck was mad, why Charles Barkley was upset was he said, you're ahead. They have to make a shot, and you're giving them the free lane by allowing them to break your press. And at that point right there when he's dribbling down, you see Florida's defense, and Charles is right. It shrinks. And when it shrinks, he dishes the ball out to the 3-point, makes it, bangs it, and that was the ball game at that point in time. Like, I get it. Like, I didn't understand the play concept at the time. But then looking back at what Charles said, like, that's one of those moments, I guess Florida just got too cocky and thought they could out-athlete Iowa and what they were doing. But, Will, we've watched this. We've been seeing more information about Iowa's head coach and how he's just good at his job. His players buy into what they got going on. And Florida and how they've gone about this. And I ain't going to say it was cocky, but Florida's been on a heater. They've been really hot, and they had a breakdown in game plan in the last waning seconds of this game, and, I mean, they're out. I hate it for the SEC, absolutely do. I'm pro-SEC and everything that we do in this conference, but, boy, my Vols side is hot. Oh, it couldn't be me being the number 1 seed and not making it to the Sweet 16. It just couldn't be my team. Gator Mike, I know you. Man, I couldn't imagine how you feel on a day like today. All you Gators right now, man, I guess it's off the baseball season for you. Good luck. What are the women doing in basketball right now? Oh, you know what? Don't matter. One, going home by a bunch of cornfield guys in Iowa. Woo-wee.
Jordan on YouTube writes in and says, no more Cinderellas. NIL and transfer portal is ruining the sport. I'll be honest, Jordan, I don't know how you can watch that game and say the sport's been ruined.
Yeah, no, man.
I don't know how you can watch St. John's, Kansas and say the sport's been ruined. I don't know how you can watch Tennessee, Virginia and say the sport has been ruined. The sport's changed.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, nothing has ruined completely college sports. No. This is still the best that college sports has to offer, the NCAA tournament. The sport has changed in that a lot of the players that would have made one shining moment as 13, 14, 15, 16 seeds, upsetting a 1, 2, 3, or 4, those guys just play for 9 seeds now. Mm-hmm. Or for 11 seed Texas. Or for 9 seed at Iowa. Ben McCollum was at Drake. Bennett Sturtz was at Drake.
Yeah.
Drake is the kind of program in the Missouri Valley that's surprising a 5 seed or a 6 seed or a 7 seed. They've been good enough to get in at large at times because that conference is so good. Well, now it's harder for Drake to hold on to those players. Those players are still playing in the NCAA tournament. They're just doing so at non-traditional basketball schools who now have the ability to compete. Like Iowa. Heck, like Vandy. Who just couldn't get over the line because they played, again, another team that is a non-traditional basketball school that has talented players that would have been at mid-majors who are now playing in the Big Ten for Nebraska.
For sure.
So the sport's not ruined, in my opinion, and I hope it isn't for many of you as well. We just got to wait one more round, I think, to get to a lot of the magic.
Right.
Where the gap has widened between the top 4 seeds and the bottom 4 seeds. I do think the gap is thinner in the round of 32 between the 3 seed and the 6 seed,
Right.
between the 1 seed and the 8 seed or 9 seed, between the 2 and the 7-10, between the 4 and the 5. We're still getting madness. We're still getting outstanding drama. You just got to wait a couple days longer.
I mean, the end of the Vanderbilt game was madness.
That game was...
That was madness.
Other than St. John's in Kansas and maybe Florida, Iowa, you can make an argument any of the 3 of those are the best games of the week. Right.
Yeah, Kentucky as
100%.
well was a madness game too. Not the first round, it was too. But it's interesting too. Have you seen the post game between Todd Golden and Ben McCullum also?
Oh yeah, it was a little spicy. Little spicy.
I think it was Ben McCullum that also shunned him from a handshake too. But we mentioned what Dan Hurley's doing right now at UConn. How his attitude is, you see more of him. He's loud. He's boisterous. And I was having an off-air conversation with somebody who's like, well, if Todd Golden gets another one, you're going to see it from him. We saw that yesterday from Todd Golden. Whatever he said on the broadcast, I know we can't play on air because he was cursing out Ben McCullum in the worst way over, I think, a dead ball situation.
He does that quite a bit, Todd Golden.
I don't know if it was a humbling moment, but this is probably most definitely an embarrassing moment when you look at the breakdown of how Iowa ended up winning as well.
I don't think Todd Golden is the type of person to embrace humbling moments. I think he's just kind of the type that is never going to be very humble, and he's got a lot of wins to back it up.
He does.
He kind of is who he is. And I don't know, an older gentleman by the name of Dan Hurley would be another example that when you are who you are and you have success doing it, there's not much that, at least publicly, maybe privately, he can be humbled and
eventually it comes
and cool off. But publicly in the heat of the battle, there's not much humble to Todd Golden.
Every bracket, I think, is bust at this point, too. It was Tennessee that actually was the final straw.
That's right.
Tennessee was the final straw in that one. But, yeah, good game. Sucks for Florida. No, it doesn't. Sucks for the SEC. Awesome moment for Florida moving forward, though, too. Yes, I'm bringing the hate. We just got crapped on so much this year as Vols fans, and we one of the last few dancing. Us, UT Junior, Alabama, and who else is left from the SEC? Arkansas. Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Kyle, man. But, yeah, just couldn't be me out here bragging like that and can't even make it to the, Sweet 16. It's tough.
Coming up, more reaction to Tennessee's win over Virginia. Tennessee's win over Virginia. We'll talk more Vandy, Nebraska. Get your reaction to that if you're just now waking up with us as hour 3 and the second half for your Monday morning continues after this.
It's Ramon Foster for Jewel Roofing and Exteriors. Good people, we're about to hit that time of the year where those storms do come through, those high winds. We experienced a little wind last night, and shingles come up on top of your roof, or high winds come through and you have roof damage in general. We've already dealt with the ice and snow and everything else that's on top of your roof, man. But I'm here to tell you, for a company that you can trust, you need to trust my friends at Jewel Roofing and Exteriors, man. They are a trusted family-owned Middle Tennessee company that's been serving from Clarksville to Murfreesboro for over 25 years. From the top of the state to the bottom of the state, they got you covered. And they've been doing it for a very long time. And I'm here to tell you, they stand up by building relationships and earning trust through referrals, never through those high-pressure tactics or door-knocking and storm chasing that those out-of-town companies use. I'll be completely honest with y'all. I had a company that I was working with on my roof, man. Next thing you know, they were gone. Absolutely no contact on them, no anything. And that's because they don't care about the community the way we do here in Tennessee, man, and the way that Jewel Roofing does as well. They've been on top of my roof. They've evaluated, and they've just done a great job. For a company that you can trust, I'm telling you, call 615-868-9999 or visit jewelroofing.com. That's Jewel Roofing with 2 L's.com.
8:01, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the main Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Tennessee basketball moves on to the Sweet 16 for the fourth consecutive year after beating three-seeded Virginia 79-72 on Sunday. Jacoby Gillespie had 21 points and was a part of 5 Tennessee players scoring in double figures. The Vols will play 2-seed Iowa State Friday night at 9:10 Central in Chicago. Tyler Tanner scored 27 points, but his last-second heat from beyond half-court rimmed out as Vanderbilt lost a close one Saturday to Nebraska 74-72, ending their season. And then a big upset last night as 9-seed Iowa upset number 1 seed Florida in the South region 73-72. Alvaro Voulgaris nailed a three-pointer with 4.5 seconds remaining, and Iowa moves on to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 27 years. Nashville Soccer Club blanked Orlando City SC 5-0 Saturday night at Geodis Park and remain unbeaten to start the year. Sam Surridge scored his fourth career hat trick and was his third multi-goal game this season. And Philip Forsberg scored twice yesterday as the Nashville Predators won their fourth straight in a 3-2 overtime win over the Chicago Blackhawks. The Preds have 75 points and now find themselves in a wild card spot in the Western Conference. 12 games left to play. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once and your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show in hour 3, getting started on this Monday morning edition of Ramon and Will. He is the 11-year NFL vet and Vol for life, Ramon Foster. Justin Hawkins makes the show happen. I'm Will Bowling. And in 15 minutes, we'll be joined by another VFL and Vol Network analyst, Jason Swain. Yes, talk some football, talk some hoops, talk some life with our good friend Swain coming up here at 8:20. Evan and Bank chat is open. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. The 104.5 The Zone app means you can take us wherever you go as well. 79-72, Tennessee over Virginia. Ramon, a fourth straight Sweet 16 for Tennessee. Nate Ament scored 13 of his 16 points in the second half. He had Tennessee's first 8 of the second half. Bishop Boswell, though, I think was the X factor.
Yeah.
Career high 9 assists, career high 4 made threes, 13 points. And when Tennessee gets that kind of production from guys not named Gillespie and Ament, Ramon, they've got a chance to beat anybody.
And what's cool about it, though, too, is for Bishop Boswell, he's progressing into that third-year role. If he, the Vols able to retain him, which I think they will be able to where now he's maturing. He's understanding the game a little bit better in that moment in which they need him. Because to your point, it gets tight in tournament time. Guys have to play with high IQ and also execution as well. And he did that yesterday. I thought he was the perfect touch for what this team is needed, especially if Nate's going to be a guy that gets started later. Nate is affecting the game, but not as far as points is concerned. And to see Bishop Boswell be in a position in which he's doing that too and moving the ball around, I thought that was one of the better things that came out of it too for the team in general. Their assist rate in which they were able to pass the ball around and get it inside, outside, and also just hitting contested and open shots as well. Better part about Bishop Boswell role yesterday, no turnovers. Not from him. That plays a huge part in the guy that's a role player now that can step up even in a major way next year too.
100%. I think Tennessee's kind of found something with him being more of a facilitator to bring the ball up that allows Jacoby Gillespie to be even more of a scorer away from just being the facilitator. Yes, I agree with you there. And there's another guy that's itching for his moments. And I think he's ahead of himself too many times when he get in the game. Okay. Amari Evans. He's going to be so good. He wants it so bad. I feel like I say that to whoever I'm watching the game with every time he does something. I'll just be like, man, he's going to be so good. He's already really good. He had a bad turnover in the middle of the paint when he was trying to, I think, go back up or trying to create, but he's aggressive. He has steal as well.
He did, and you see that like that's the next step for him. I'm not sure who they're going to get in the portal because you got to get anybody out of the portal.
In a point guard, that's for sure.
But his foundational pieces are there with the guys that you want to go to war with too. But Bishop Boswell, to your original point, a great day to have a good one for himself, especially from behind the 3-point line too.
No question. 4 made threes for Bishop Boswell. The career high was 4 of 9 from 3. Rick Barnes has said it all season. He's a good shooter. He's got to shoot it.
Just got to do it.
And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was Jacoby Gillespie telling him. I don't know if it was just Rick Barnes or just whatever happened to encourage Bishop Boswell to take some initiative and just be a guy. Mm-hmm. I'm really glad that he decided to make that choice.
Yeah.
Him being a weapon on offense makes Tennessee so much better.
Well, it's good. I'll throw this in there. If he's, operating under pressure like this, like that, Virginia's a good team. They're a 3 seed, and for him to say, all right, Nate, if you're not going to start us off, I got us. And it was necessary too. And then off the bench, we mentioned him early, but Jalen Carey playing a part in it as well. Those guys they got a good blend right now. Now, they got to clean up some stuff. The turnovers late can't happen. And I mean, cannot happen.
9 second-half turnovers. That will get you beat against Iowa State.
Absolutely.
Who is one of the best defenses in all of college basketball.
Yeah.
It's a tricky matchup for Tennessee on Friday, who's essentially going to see a better version of what they are in the regular season.
Well, what I hope they won't get is what Iowa State had to say about Kentucky. Well, they said Kentucky, they knew if they blitzed them, they went at them hard, they would lay it down. That's just, I don't see that being a Rick Barnes character trait for his teams.
No.
Never has been.
No, definitely.
But you could tell the mindset of what Iowa State plays with, what they present themselves with day in and day out, and you see it on the court too. That's what was going to be super unique about Tennessee State going up against them. They weren't going to stop. And then they did the exact same thing against Kentucky. They want to smother you. They literally walk behind you and grab you behind the throat and say, okay, now you want to go to sleep or do you want to walk home?
Iowa State forces the fourth.
God,
yeah, it was a little violent.
That was a little violent.
Very violent for a Monday.
Or basketball, too.
Iowa State forces the 4th highest turnover rate of any team in college basketball. Yeah. Tennessee's offensive turnover rate is 17.3%. That ranks 225th in college basketball. Turnovers are the problem for Tennessee. There is not a world where you don't take care of the basketball and win that game on Friday against Iowa State unless you just shoot the lights out when you do have opportunities or also force a ton of turnovers for Iowa State yourself. So going to be interesting. I think it's an interesting matchup. Teams with similar styles, teams that'll rebound and play defense really, really well. It's going to look a little bit like a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that is allowed in the NCAA tournament much more than it has been allowed in SEC play. I love the way, Ramon, all weekend, I love the way NCAA tournament games are officiated. Yeah. Not perfect.
Nope.
But I am of the opinion that if we are going to criticize officiating, we also have to give them their credit when it is due. I'm not just talking about the Tennessee game. I'm talking about all of it.
Yeah.
I thought that every game, the players are allowed to make the difference and not just at the free throw line more often than not. And I feel like in general SEC play, that's not allowed quite as much.
No, it is not. It's such a quick whistle during the regular season, man. It makes you hate it sometimes, or we always have this conversation. The referee's just trying to be a part of the show. I hadn't heard them or seen them or nobody's announced it yet. Does that also mean Pat Adams ain't a part of this?
Pat Adams officiated the which game was it last? The Arizona game.
He did.
And there were many monitor reviews in the last 10 minutes.
Come on, Big Pat. Come on, Big Pat.
I think Joe Lindsey was on the Florida game. Joe Lindsey's just as bad as Pat Adams, to be honest with you.
Big Pat.
He's just not as much of a showboat as Pat is. Vanderbilt falls to Nebraska 74-72. This was not the picture of perfect officiating, this game. That was the outlier. Between a missed double dribble call on Nebraska on a breakaway dunk, Vandy then got 2 points kind of given back to them the next possession. Not next possession. It was a couple possessions later where there was a total missed call on them that allowed, I can't remember the specifics of it. I just remember thinking all right, we're even now.
Yeah.
Very late in that one, but Tyler Tanner was close. to providing one of the all-time moments in the history of the NCAA tournament. It barely rimmed out, and those basketballs that get a little overinflated literally might be the difference between Vanderbilt making a half-court shot to win by 1 or losing by 2 and still not reaching a Sweet 16 since 2007.
You can see the way Tyler Tanner shot that ball. He practices it.
He said after the game, I thought it was in. I thought it was. I think everybody thought it was in.
His
It looked perfectly online.
Front rim, back rim, and out. Like, that was I can't believe Nebraska allowed them to get that off. Nobody really, he caught it, 1-2 dribbles, and softly tossed it up, and something that was very routine for him. I couldn't believe it. But again, as much trash I'm going to talk a good bit of it when it comes down to it. I got to give respect to that group, though, that they have over there, legitimately. And Tyler Nickel also got back hot again as well, or he's more consistent. Duke Miles, Tyler Tanner, A.K. Okereke, and also Devin McLaughlin. I mean, they got a good squad. You got to give it up for Coach Byington, man, and how he's changed the standard and what Vanderbilt basketball was used to years back. As you mentioned, they hadn't gone to the Sweet 16 since 2007, but this team is there. They beat some really good teams this year. They played well here in the hometown in the SEC tournament also. And you mentioned earlier, we're speaking about the draft projections of Tyler Tanner. Second round, I think, is underrated.
Yeah, that was the most recent mock draft from the ESPN NBA draft analyst who had Tyler Tanner going in the second pick of the second round to the New York Knicks. Jeez. I'm coming back to school if that's the case.
I am too. I screw going to the league if that's the case, because
he's going to make really good money if he comes back to Vanderbilt. He's going to make really good money no matter where he goes, but I'd be floored if he didn't come back to Vanderbilt.
He's a Vandy guy all the way through and through, no other way around it. This
has been 2 years into his college career. I think he had opportunities before this past season to leave, and he chose not to.
I'm just asking what any other coach and his agent is going to be, because yesterday's price is not today's price no more for him.
No, definitely not.
And I don't say that as a threat to Vanderbilt. It's just the game.
It's the reality of college sports. Crumble cookie money from BYU, we'll call him.
Yeah.
Desperate Kentucky money.
Florida money.
I mean, Kentucky took Denzel Aberdeen after he won a national championship at Florida. Of course they're going to call. There are so many teams
if I'm
that will be in the mix for a literally program-changing point guard like Tyler Tanner.
Absolutely.
It's like going out to get a $6-7 million quarterback, like Sam Levitt. Truly, you can change the trajectory of your entire basketball program by having Tyler Tanner be the point guard. You want proof of that? Look at what Vandy just did.
Mm-hmm.
The next step for Vandy is going to be taking regular season success, some rivalry wins over Tennessee, steps in the right direction, and turning that into postseason success. That is where you get similarities between this football season and this basketball season for Vandy. Not a total one-to-one comparison, because you could argue they kind of did their part to get in the playoff most years, and 10-2 still didn't get them in.
Right.
But the best season in Vandy football history ended with a loss in the ReliaQuest Bowl to Iowa. One of the best seasons in Vanderbilt basketball history just ended with a second-round loss to Nebraska.
For first ever Sweet 16 for them.
For this regime, yeah. I mean, they've been to the Sweet 16 plenty of times, but not since 2007. That's going to be the next step. You're spending enough money to have national-level aspirations. Beating Tennessee is great if you're a Vanderbilt fan.
Yeah.
You should expect and want more, and I know many of you do. You're spending money with the best. The next step is going to be beating the best in postseason play. They've not gotten there yet. I do expect that they will. They are built to last in football and basketball.
Yeah.
Baseball, maybe a little bit different of a conversation now, but football and basketball, they are built to sustain the success that they are having and build on it. That next step needs to be better postseason success in 2026 and 7.
Y'all better stop talking about Corbin like that, man. Don't act like he's not the best thing that's been holding it down. I hadn't paid a lot of attention
tough conversations happening over there.
But I'm seeing y'all social media posts, and y'all getting real angry right now.
Jason Swain for the Sports Animal in Knoxville joins us next. Moving around Middle Tennessee is a big challenge, especially if you've got a tight time frame and need to act fast. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Bernie Gallerani of Bernie Gallerani Real Estate is going to make the process simple. He's going to take the stress out of a process that is always stressful. Don't rely on that national agent that doesn't know you, your neighborhood, or doesn't even care about your goals. I know there's no one size fits all, and Bernie Gallerani has options that other agents just simply don't or can't have. That's because Bernie Gallerani guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. There's no risk to you. Bernie Gallerani will let you out of the contract at any time as the real estate agent with the 30-day guarantee. Give him a call, 615-428-2644. If you need to relocate quickly for work, if you've been thinking about selling your home and just don't want to take that leap of faith that you can sell your home for the top price that you can get online advice. BernieGallerani.com. He's going to be able to help you through this entire process. The number again, 615-428-2644. Bernie Gallerani Real Estate, online at BernieGallerani.com. Are you tired of getting hammered by high-interest debt, mortgage over 6%, credit cards and car loans at 10, 20%? Hey, it's Will Bowling. Loan Pronto is here with the answer you've been waiting on, the all-in home refi. It's one fast, easy solution to lock in the lowest rate in 3 years and wipe out all those nasty loans. One homeowner just got their APR down to 4.99%, paid off over $80,000 in high-interest loans, and saved over $2,000 a month. And listen, while some lenders charge up to $10,000 in fees to do this, Loan Pronto's cost is just $995. $995, and you can wipe out all your high-interest loans at once. It's the all-in refi from Loan Pronto. Super fast, super cheap. No hard credit pull up front, often no appraisal, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Loan Pronto, A-plus BBB rated with nearly 3,000 five-star Google reviews. Call now and ask about the all-new all-in refi. 615-499-5780 at loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Ramon Will rolls on 104.5 The Zone with Vol for Life and 11-year NFL vet Ramon Foster. I am Will Bowling. Adding another VFL into the mix as our good friend Jason Swain joins us. Josh and Swain on the Sports Animal, where you get him at Swain Event on Twitter. Swain, what's up? Good morning.
What up, Swizzy?
Man, y'all got the tunes jamming today, boy.
Always.
Woo.
We got a little
Good morning,
song.
guys.
Good morning, man.
Aside from seeing the beautiful face of one Ben McKee on national television yesterday, Swain, what did you like the most about Tennessee's win over Virginia and Philadelphia to make the Sweet 16?
It was a guard play. Bishop Boswell, I mean, he came ready to play. And his ability to make shots from the outside, hit 4 3-pointers defensively was really good too. And that was the issue when Tennessee lost to Vanderbilt. I mean, that was the question. All right, can we get guard play outside Jacoby Gillespie where you're making shots and defending? You look at Tennessee's losses over the last, couple of months in SEC play. When Tennessee loses, opposing guards, they go for career days, and that was not the case against Virginia. And you get him making shots. So I thought Bishop Boswell was a bigger story. It was awesome to see Nate Ament, do a little bit more. That block I thought energized the team to another level. But man, I was nervous, guys. I'm glad Tennessee was able to pull it out, man, because there's been several cases where Tennessee has had the lead and then giving it up and then lose the game. That was a case where Tennessee learned from their mistakes in the regular season to prevent that from happening in the second round. So, man, just really, really excited for the Vols entering this matchup against Iowa State.
Swain, when you look at the way Rick Barnes runs this program and Tennessee being one of 3 programs now with 4 straight second weekends and Sweet 16s, along with Houston and Alabama, what do you think the secret sauce is? What has he been able to do and build for Tennessee basketball, as much as you've been around the program and been around the athletic department and been on some really good teams yourself on the football side of things? What makes Tennessee basketball different to sustain success in a sport where the elites, like Florida, like UConn even at times, when they're not winning national titles, are bowing out in the first weekend of this tournament?
It's culture. Man, from the moment Rick Barnes stepped on campus, he said, hey, I'm going to recruit these level of guys, okay? And we may struggle, but I'm establishing the foundation. I'm establishing the culture. And then after that, we'll go out there and we'll recruit the high-level 5 stars. And that's exactly what happened. That was the plan from day one for Rick Barnes. And then you saw him go out and get Keon Johnson and Kennedy Chandler and Jaden Springer and Nate Ament and Dalton Connect and all these guys, program-changing talent, but it was always about the foundation first and setting that culture. And that's what it's about. I mean, the standard is the standard. I know Ramon is very familiar with that phrase. And that's the case for Tennessee basketball, man. You're going to play defense. You're going to be tough. You're going to be physically tough because the strength program is one of one when it comes to basketball and college basketball. The only question with Rick Barnes is he going to have enough shooters and offensive players to be able to maximize, his opportunity? But we know we're going to get defensively from an effort standpoint, from a culture standpoint, leadership. There's not going to be knuckleheads on the team. It's just not going to happen. So it's culture, man. That's the first and foremost, most important thing, and the thing that stands out. And when you have successful programs, it doesn't matter what sport it is, guys. Basketball, football, baseball, it's culture first, establishing leadership, and then the talent, that fluctuates depending on who you bring in your program year in and year out.
We're joined by Jason Swain this morning, VFL. Swain, I'm glad you brought up the weight room component of it as well for the basketball side of it, because we had a caller call in earlier just speaking about, like this moment being too big for Nate and, wasn't sure if the NBA was going to be ready for him after this year. And Will and I kind of pushed back on it. It's like, no, you're looking at Nate as the right now product. The finished product of him is way different. Swain, just in your Hooper background, man, like what do you see from Nate? Like, yeah, he might not be perfect now, but the way you project him in the NBA, it's seamless almost at a point. What would you say to the Vols fans that have questions about why he's not, like AJ DeBanso or the Boozers or anybody else for that matter currently?
Yeah, Ramon, we get a lot of football fans that dive into the basketball world and treat the basketball world the same as the football world. And it's just not the same. I mean, it's just not. When you look at Don't Connect and people were like, "What? Why is Don't Connect sliding? Why is he not drafted higher?" And it's like, yo, they look at your ceiling and what you can do with your height, your length, your ability to create your own shot, your age. They look at that ceiling, and that's why you saw Don Connect slide the way he did, even though he had a phenomenal last year at Tennessee. Other guys went above him. Well, if Dalton Connect and Nate Ament was coming out in the same draft, Nate Ament would be one of the ones that will be coming out before him, because you can't teach 6'10". You can't teach his ability to grow and learn. He's going to be able to create his own shot off the dribble. We saw that yesterday, and the announcers talk about that. His jump shot has improved and changed. And I think one of the most important things that's underrated, look at what's going on at Kansas, where you got Peterson, who, from a talent standpoint, should be the number 1 overall pick. But there's questions about his toughness and if he really wants to play basketball unless the conditions are perfect. Nate Ament sprained his knee and his ankle at the same time, and he's out here playing and gutting it out. There's no question about him sitting out and not wanting to play. And I think fans thought that for a second, because we saw what happened with Jamal McCoy. And no fault of Jamal McCoy. He made the right decision. But we've seen players say, I'm going to sit out this bowl game. I'm going to get ready for the draft. I'm a little banged up. That's not been Nate Ament. He's been wanting to play and had to be kind of set down by his own staff to keep him from playing. So, yeah, he has tremendous upside, dude. I mean, his ceiling is through the roof. He's only going to get better. And let me repeat, the dude is 6'10" and can dribble and create his own shot and can score at all 3 levels. Like, dude is special.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that answer, man. And it's time to probably tick off Ron Slade, because it's March Madness. We're going to talk a little spring football, Swain.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. From your perspective, man, one of the highest contested competitions is the quarterback. There's a 3-way forward, of course, right? For the winner of it. It's an open competition. Heupel's been keen on making sure that is the focal point of this conversation as far as the starting quarterback goes. From your perspective as a wide receiver that depends on that position, how do you deviate, Swain, on what's good and what's okay and what's the best for you and the team at the quarterback position when they're in competition?
Well, I think the most important thing is who can value the football the most, who has an understanding of the offense, who puts the ball in place for guys to make plays. There's some scrimmage situations. Who moves the football? Who has success? I anticipate George McIntyre to have that advantage right now. I mean, he's been here the longest. Faison just got here. You can see the talent, though, man. You can't deny it. And think about the last time there was a quarterback competition between Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker, and how Hendon wasn't able to really win it at first because you can't hit the quarterback in practice. You can't get near him. And part of what made Hendon special was his ability to maneuver in the pocket when there was a rush and still deliver the football down the field. And you can't just create those opportunities in those scenarios in practice because you were so afraid of anyone getting close to the quarterback, not because the quarterback is going to get hit, but because that quarterback on this follow-through can hit his hand on someone's helmet and break a finger or break a thumb. So you don't have the quarterbacks threatened in any way. No one can get close to them. And so if you're Josh Heupel, how can you create some scenarios, learning from that Milton Hendon battle to make sure, okay, am I gonna pick the right guy and not make that same mistake? Now, it worked out, don't get me wrong, but you want to make sure that you get the right guy and create as many scenarios in practice so that way you can pick the right guy. But this thing is going to go to the fall, probably all season long. But, man, it's exciting to see the young players go out there and compete. People can call it a 3-man battle. That's not what I'm calling it, Ramon. I'm calling this thing a two-man battle.
Being fair.
Just look at Ramon, I'm just being honest. Hey, NIL, buddy. Yeah. When you have guys coming in and making a lot of money, it's hard to ignore it. It's hard to ignore it, man. So yeah, I look at this thing as a two-man battle, but I get it, Ramon. You don't want to count a young man out.
Jason Swain, our guest from the Sports Animal, Josh and Swain in Knoxville, as well as the Vol Network. What's your first impression of Faison Brandon Swain and just watching him play? What stands out? And the same for George McIntyre. What specifically stands out of their strengths in what you've seen so far?
Man, George can deliver it. I mean, he can deliver. I think he's a tick sooner on anticipation with his throws. So that's to be expected because he's been here, has a little stronger understanding. Faison, both of these dudes can throw it. I mean, these are 4 or 5 star level type of quarterbacks. I haven't seen Faison really get out and run. And I don't know if I am going to, because when you have guys like Faison Brandon who are labeled as a dual threat, they don't really want to run like that. They want to show you that they can throw from the pocket. And they only run when they absolutely have to, because they don't want to be labeled as just a running quarterback. So both guys can spin it. George is 6'6", can see over the line of scrimmage, can make plays with his legs when he needs to. But, man, Faison is just on a different level as far as athleticism. And it's really going to come down for me, who takes care of the ball, who can stay healthy, who can understand the framework of the offense, and when to take shots, when to not take shots, and then who the receiver respond to the most and the best. I mean, that's going to be part of it too. And I thought the trip that George McIntyre took with the wideouts in all season, they went down to Miami and threw and hung out. I thought that was very, very important. That doesn't count Faison out at all, but it just gives George a lead, and George has to do everything in his power to maintain that lead. But Faison is coming, man. He's too talented not to.
Swain, the Twitter film experts, and by film experts, I mean people who've watched a video on Twitter, and you already know where I'm going with this, have had a lot of thoughts about a Tristan Keys route and a David Sanders block already. We're just 1 week in to spring practice. For the people that are concerned about Tristan Keys looking slow, running an out route, Swain, I'm sure you have had to talk a lot of people down about this. How common is it to not run a route at full speed in March? And yes, I'm also rolling my eyes as I even ask this question to you.
Oh man, guys! Like I saw like the initial, tweet from Tennessee football. Oh no, excuse me, from Ben McKee, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, man. He's running speed out, which from high school to college is probably the hardest route to run, because you never really run speed outs in high school. Like, quarterbacks are not able to throw those speed outs in high school like that unless you have a D1 type of quarterback. And so I was like, okay, he's running the speed out, cool, whatever. And it looks like it's half speed, and his smooth. He didn't take any false steps or didn't shuffle his feet or do anything weird during his route. And then I started seeing like some comments, because I had a couple buddies reach out to me and say, hey man, you see what's going on? I was like, you can't be serious. people on here breaking this thing down, man, like they're real coaches. And it's 50%. He's going half speed, so of course he's going to look slow if he's not running full speed. And the thing about wide receiver play, you have a receiver sometimes that have soft tissue injuries during the course of spring or summer or the beginning of fall camp. And I think for Tennessee, they've had a couple of those. And you want to be careful. You don't want to run guys into the ground. And one thing that I know about Derek Owens so far, Tennessee's new strength coach, is they're going to work hard, but they're going to work smart too. And we're not going to just do things and just to do them. Let's be smart about them. And so you've seen receivers run the top of the routes. You've seen receivers do things half speed to try to, preserve their legs and not, have hamstring or growing issues or soft tissue issues. Mm-hmm. And so no need to worry, folks, about a receiver running 50%. It's just part of it. And then as far as David Sanders, I did see a lot of the, former NFL players and current NFL players dissecting, David Sanders' rep, which is a little different, I think the thing about the media at Tennessee. And I remember when Eric Spoelstra, the Miami Heat head coach, came to a practice. And this is when Butch Jones was the head coach. And those guys, friends. And he came to hang out, and he said, man, there's more media coverage at Tennessee football practice than at Miami Heat practices. And we're talking LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. Like, the big three was there, but it was more coverage at Tennessee football practice. And then you have these periods, guys, where there's like 1 or 2 periods that's open to the media, and they're able to film, okay? And the fans want to see that coverage, right? And so the media sometimes don't know what they're filming, sometimes they don't know what to put out, what not to put out, and how it may be, perceived and taken. And so they just record and put it out, all right? And what happens is you get folks that comment on it, and some of it is legit, and some of it is just silly and ridiculous, like the Tristan Keys commentary. But the thing about the David Sanders stuff is, here's a dude that at the start of fall camp, the first day we really getting aggressive, Ramon, and I'm sure you can attest to this. It ain't really about technique. Nope. It's about this dude's about this business today, man. He's aggressive. That's the most important thing. We can teach the technique later, man. This dude is setting the tone for practice. I love this.
That to me was the biggest take from David Sanders. Like, I saw people breaking it down and saying, well, he didn't move him off the line of scrimmage. Okay, like what I like and what's coveted, Swain, is the finish, the nastiness.
Yeah, exactly.
In March. Like,
exactly.
This wasn't a dude like this version of David Sanders. We didn't see this last year. That to me also showed the confidence is there, Swain, and that he knows, like, okay, yeah, y'all got me last year, not this year, Swain. Damn the technique. Walk him back and stand over him and beat your chest. That's what I'm looking for. Like, I'd rather say, well, hey, be cool. I don't care about the dub or the technique on day one of pads. No, I'm here to kick your face in. God, it's twice I've been violent today.
No, that's perfect, Mom. Remember the first day of pads?
Oh, my
we used to
gosh.
have Oklahoma drill.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all about man versus man, who can move who. There's not a coach coming out saying, hey, get your elbows in, Hey, watch out for the holding flag. No, man, this is about me imposing my will on you and who's going to blink. That's what it's about. That's what that part of practice was all about. We'll worry about the technique stuff later. The dude was intense. He was violent. He is a freshman going to a sophomore year. He understands the importance of leadership and, the weight that's on him. He didn't get a chance to play as much as he wanted to last year as being the number one offensive tackle coming in. NIL is big. So, I love everything about that rep. There's a time and a place for Ellaby to critique the technique. Now, if he's doing that technique during fall, during the games, and we're getting home calls, that's another story. But it's okay, folks. This is perfectly fine. Listen to the 11-year NFL vet Ramon Foster.
I love it. Jason Swain, our guest at Swain Event on Twitter. Josh and Swain on the Sports Animal, and of course the Vol Network as well. This is why we love catching up with you, Swain. You see things the way we do, and I mean that in a good way. Thank you for the time as always. We'll do it again soon.
Appreciate it, Swain.
My guys, love y'all. See y'all.
All right, you too, man. There's Jason Swain with us this morning, preaching to the choir.
It is.
Coming up.
You got a little preaching to do after this, huh?
You were in the building for a dismantling on Saturday afternoon by Nashville Soccer Club against Orlando City. We will get your takeaways and mine as well on a big win for the boys in gold after this. Wrap it up, hour number 3 on this Monday morning edition of Ramon and Will. Going to talk some Titans in hour 4. Your phone calls at 615-737-1045. More hoops discussion as well on deck. But we got to talk a little bit of soccer because Nashville Soccer Club absolutely dismantled rival Orlando City to the tune of a 5-0 win on Saturday afternoon at Geodis Park, and Ramon Foster was there to see it in person.
I was in the building.
What'd you think?
Loved it.
Let's hear the takeaways.
Love every bit about it. Listen to me. If you hadn't been to Geodis, you need to go. One, that stadium's bigger than you think it is. Also, like you walk up to it and it's like, okay, cool. And then you you think you're around the neighborhood, and then you walk in. The pitch is huge. So my family was 7 of us that went to the game. Shout out to Alice and Warren, also Paul Mason ended up hooking us up with those tickets. But it was phenomenal, man. From the intros to the first goal of it, like instantly. And you had briefed me a little bit. It was like, yeah, we probably going to kind of run it up on Orlando. And they did. You didn't have to wait on this one. They were aggressive. And I'll say this to the non-soccer people in general. I've become more of one as well. Going to the event gives you a better understanding. You see the setup of the plays better in person than you do on TV. Like I saw Hani Mukhtar just setting it up, just rolling, and it was fun. It was electric. The crowd understands the moments. The appropriate amount of hate is there as well.
Especially
I
against
said
Orlando.
It now. Forgive my descriptions, but this is just the way I saw them, okay? The short white guy with the super blonde hair, I'm with him any day of the week.
Eddie Taxon,
Eddie. Okay, and then the black guy with the blonde hair as well.
Maxwell Woleji, first-year defender from the Norwegian top flight as well. He's in his first season with the club, center back.
Listen to me. I'm an amateur in understanding their names, but I'm going to get there, all right, is what I'm telling you. But what I'm telling you is this. I'm choosing them two to go into a bar and fight the entire group before I do Hani Mukhtar. And I mess with Hani, okay? He was cool. I met him at an event a few years back. He was super cool, super dope guy. But it's a fun... I'm telling you, if you don't understand it, you will by the time you leave. And the crowd's just super accepting. My boys enjoyed it. My wife and sister-in-law did as well. It was a grand time for a bunch of non-soccer consumers the way we were. And I'm more so now. But Nashvillians, surrounding areas, get down to Geodis. Everything in there I feel like was affordable as well. And it's just a good time of people embracing, at this point, the winningest pro team as it stands in Nashville as of late, that is.
Nashville SC is 4-0-1, still unbeaten in MLS play. They are at the top of the Eastern Conference through 5 matches. Now, this season's going to go all the way through October. Long marathon, not a sprint, but out of the gates, they have been tremendous. 13 points, that's 3 more than NYC and Miami, who are level on points in second and third, respectively. Nashville has scored the most goals in the Eastern Conference. They have scored 13 goals in 5 matches, well on their way to breaking a club record for goal scoring in the entire season. And Christian Espinoza's goal in the 5th minute was unbelievable.
On a bounce back, too. He was there.
Espinoza's on the right-hand side in a position you would 99 times out of 100 cross it. Mm-hmm. And I thought at first that he did cross it and just mishit it a little bit and it went in, because that does happen from time to time. Right. Then I saw the replay. He looked up and saw the keeper cheating inside. Maxime Crepeau, who is the backup goalie for the Canadian national team and in competition to be Canada's World Cup starter.
Wow.
It's a really good goalkeeper. Who has been everywhere around Major League Soccer and is in Orlando now, replacing the departed Pedro Gallese. He just saw he was off his line and just put it right in the upper left corner. Like as good of a finish as you will see all season. Sam Sturridge gets a hat trick. It is his 4th hat trick if you count a 4-goal game that he had last year. In the moment, I counted it as his 3rd hat trick. You could make either argument. It depends on how you qualify it. It probably is his 4th hat trick. His 12th regular season multi-goal match. Boys in Gold are unbeaten in 9 matches between Champions Cup and MLS. They are 4-0-1 in MLS and 4-0-1 at Geodis for the first time to start the season in club history. This team is awesome.
It was fun.
They have legitimate championship aspirations in every competition they are competing in. And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's not just good, it's fun. And
there are a band of brothers out there, too.
It is really, really fun to watch right now. This could have been 7 or 8-0. considering the chances Nashville had. And to be honest with you, it could have been 7 or 8, 1 or 2.
Because they hit one.
Because Brian Schwacke made a couple really big saves, too.
And Orlando City also had one hit the goalpost on the way out. When you're good, you find good luck also.
Sure.
Is what I would say. There was on the yellow card. Man, who was that got pulled out of the air?
Jason Palacios.
Brother.
To give Nashville its penalty kick in the 28th minute.
He was either making the header or he was going to make it on the penalty kick. I think it was a header that he was going for. Like, he literally has jumped up high in the air, and you had an Orlando player drag him out of the air into the ground, end up getting a yellow card and a penalty kick after it. It was fun. You see the talent out there. I see what you were saying as far as the way Coach Callahan is setting them up offensively, but defensively it's just the same. Like, when you look on the back end of it, like, they're defending well and attacking in the right ways as well. Yeah,
they were all over Orlando. First half that game, they had 64% of the possession and outshot them 10-2. Really, really fun game. They are off this weekend. This weekend is an international break. So that's when teams go back to their national teams and play. The U.S. has a couple big friendlies that we may talk a little bit about, too, as they gear up for the World Cup. They'll be back next Saturday in Soldier Field against Chicago.
Are they playing this
the next time they play? Yeah, that's where the Fire play their home games for now. They're building a new stadium, but that's where Chicago is as of now.
Old Soldier Field soon, huh?
That's true also. Yep. Coming up, some breaking news in the NFL. A player has gotten paid, to say the least. We got a new highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. We'll tell you about here in just a moment. Plus, we got to change our way of watching the NCAA tournament in one big way. I'll tell you why coming up next.
Hey, it's Ramon Foster. I'm telling you, when couples walk into Genesis Diamonds, they can't believe their eyes. It's a mind-blowing display of sparkling jewelry with literally thousands of choices when it comes to engagement rings. All the styles she's seen online are right there. But the experts at Genesis make them feel totally at ease. They're offered a beverage. This is true. They are asked a lot of questions about their taste and style. They're given a no-holds-barred education. They're even told the secrets of the jewelry business. The consultants at Genesis are not on commission. They are not retail clerks. They are not transaction focused. They can spend 30 minutes with you or they can spend 3 hours with you. It doesn't matter. You can see dozens and dozens of diamonds in an array of sizes, shapes, and color grades as well. You can see handcrafted rings from all the top designers that other stores aren't even allowed to carry. You can see the difference between a diamond that is properly cut and one like you might find in one of those online places. I'm telling you, the difference will blow you away. Bottom line, Genesis will take away all the risk, all the mystery, all the confusion, and help you make a decision that you will be confident in for years to come. Genesis Diamonds, a true direct importer with rock-bottom prices and a luxury experience with no compromises. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes, too. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
9:03, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. NFL news this morning per multiple reports. Offensive Player of the Year and Super Bowl 60 champion wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba reached an agreement with the Seahawks on a 4-year, $168.6 million contract extension, which makes him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. The deal averages $42.15 million per year and also includes over $120 million in guaranteed money. Both of those set records for wide receivers. On Friday, the Seahawks also picked up cornerback Devin Witherspoon's fifth-year option, and he's next in line for a new deal. The NCAA tournament over the weekend, Tennessee moves on to the Sweet 16 for the fourth consecutive year. They beat 3-seed Virginia 79-72 on Sunday. The Vols will play 2-seed Iowa State Friday night at 9:10 Central in Chicago. On Saturday, Vanderbilt, they lost a close one in the round of 32 to Nebraska, 74-72, ending their season. And last night, 9-seed Iowa upset 1-seeded Florida in the South region, 73-72. Saturday night, Nashville Soccer Club's historic season continued as they blanked Orlando City SC 5-0 at Geodis Park. They remain unbeaten to start the year. Nashville now sits first in the Eastern Conference with 13 points. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the fourth and final hour of your Monday morning. Glad you are with us. Where the conversation will shift gears back to Titans talk in 15 minutes. Haven't really talked to the NFL football this morning.
Today,
it's 9 a.m. Where have the Titans' needs changed the most since the beginning of the offseason? They've eliminated some, they've created some others. We'll dive into that coming up here in 15 minutes. Your thoughts at 615-737-1045. Good for Jackson Smith-Njigba getting broketh off, as Ramon likes to say. Means he got a big contract extension. 4-year, $168.6 million contract extension. Jackson Smith-Njigba, Ramon, is now the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history, with an average of $42.15 million per year, surpassing the $40.25 that Jamar Chase has on his current contract.
Initially, just to start some mess, is he better than Jamar Chase? Is the questions you have to ask. You know what I'm saying? He's
different.
He's different. He's important. He's most definitely one of the best route runners out in the game. Like, he's a playmaker. I only bring that up because I wonder how the league adjusts to this position. Maybe it's like the quarterback position as well. Like, if you got a good one, you're going to pay for that good one. But being in the business of having a premier wide receiver is an expensive one today, is what I'm getting at. Now, I'll be interested to see how certain teams value it moving forward on how you win and how you build teams. And I say that, and lo and behold, you got the Denver Broncos trading this past week for Jalen Waddle. So you want one. It's just a matter of how you retain and keep and pay them.
The highest paid wide receivers of the NFL on a per-year basis. This is the top 6. Jackson Smith-Njigba now number 1 at 42.15. Jamar Chase 2 at 40.25. Justin Jefferson, $35 million a year. CeeDee Lamb, $34 million a year. DK Metcalf, $33. Garrett Wilson, $32.5. 2 of those 6 receivers were playing postseason games this past year.
It's going to be fascinating to see if Justin Jefferson gets an increase. But his issues running into his quarterbacks, that is a sticky place to be, to knowing you're one of the best in the world and you can't get the football because the offense not operating the way you want it to. And I know, like, the pride side of it's got to be high on Justin, but he to me is, I think, one of the best wide receiver superstars the league has seen in a while. He's got the personality for it. You hardly see him. He gets an attitude, but not like publicly throwing water coolers and crying on the sideline type stuff, you know?
Sure. I think it's interesting, too, the positional value discussion, this, and how it pertains to the Titans with the 4th overall pick. Seattle had a Super Bowl MVP running back. They let him walk. They had a number 1 receiver. They kept and made the highest paid at his position. The people that will believe in positional value in the draft will use this as their fuel. I can go find a running back And I'm not really that concerned about paying a running back at the top of the running back market. But when I go find a premium position, I've got to keep that guy in my building. Unless I just want to go spend high-level draft capital on another one. And Jackson Smith-Njigba being given $42 million while Kenneth Walker is going to play for a different football team next year is why the Titans have such a difficult decision to make with the 4th overall pick.
That's the conversation. Even for me, clamoring for the idea of them taking Sonny Styles, like, that's the conversation. Chicago let go of Roquan Smith. Baltimore let go of Patrick Queen. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dre Greenlaw's in a different city himself. We can go down to Terrell Edmonds.
Carolina Panthers signing Devin Lloyd at inside linebacker this year. $15 million a year at the top of the free agent market.
Brother.
If Jackson Smith-Njigba is getting $42 million from his team, he might be pushing 50 if he was ever available for other teams to negotiate with. That's the reason why many people will tell you Jeremiah Love is not an option with the 4th overall pick. I don't believe that.
Right.
I'm telling you, that's the argument for taking value, especially in the top 10, over who you think is just the better overall football player.
And it is so different, too, to your point about, okay, well, this was a rookie contract, right? Or he's the best of the class that we're going to bring in this offseason stretch right here. If you're talking about Jeremiah Love, like, there's some pushback, and I enjoy the pushback of discussing, do you take Love, Sonny Styles, or do you take an edge rusher, right? Like, it's a hot topic because, to your point, the league essentially is settling this for us. Now, is it the first contract or is the second contract we need to, split the hairs on having this type of conversation? But you're right. The second contract for a running back who, to your point, Will, is Super Bowl MVP, got under $14 million a year. And that's one of the best of the best. And now, or that's almost market-setting money for him.
You can go find a good running back in free agency if you really want to have one, and it's not going to break the bank. You cannot go find a top 5 to 10 wide receiver under normal circumstances unless you are willing to give the world up for that player. Either in a trade or with a contract.
And the Titans did that. And with A.J. Brown, somewhat.
Yeah, they are the exception.
Yeah.
But they picked trade. They were just on the other end of it. And this team's not in the position to be trading away picks with the amount of needs it still has and is trying to rebuild and make this roster younger.
So it's interesting, too, just looking at this 23 class. Was Jackson Smith-Njigba the first wide receiver taken?
I don't believe so.
He was he was at 20, though.
Was he really?
It was him, Quentin Johnston, and then Zay Flowers, and then Jordan Addison. But what we're getting at is, like, I think that correlates to this draft. Like, there will be a top 5, top 10 wide receiver. But in the year of 2023, that was not the conversation. And now you got Jackson Smith-Njigba in that class and developed himself. And on the right team, with the right quarterback and the right offense, become the highest paid wide receiver in the world.
And 2 out of those 4 wide receivers hit.
2 of the 4. That's the draft.
In 2023, who were picked in the first round. Jackson Smith-Njigba hit. Quentin Johnston, miss. For the 21st overall pick, miss. He's not been that bad, but for the 21st overall pick, he's not been to that level. Zay Flowers, hit. Jordan Addison, I'd say probably somewhere in between the two. Hasn't really been a hit, hasn't really been a miss. He's been fine.
What's crazy, though, if you look at the second round of this, though, too, Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, Jonathan Mingo's a big miss.
Big miss.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Ole Miss.
That's 39th overall pick right
Puts
there.
the miss in Ole Miss.
Yes, he did. Makes him an old guy in the league. Oh, remember him? That wasn't a great dad joke. But either way, what I'm saying is this. The draft is tricky. Do you, at this point, we don't have this conversation as far as the Titans go in the next segment. Yeah. How do you pick what's right for you?
Right. Real quick, before we get back to Titans discussion in our next segment, Stuart Mandel had an interesting tweet over the weekend. National college sports writer says this is not an encouraging trend for Cinderellas in the NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament went to 64 teams in 1985. Only 7 times have the 13, 14, 15 seeds all gone winless in the first round. It has now happened 2 years in a row for the first time ever since 1985. 13 through 15 seeds did not have a single upset in the first round. We've got to retrain the way we watch the NCAA tournament. Cinderellas look like Iowa. Cinderellas look like Texas. Cinderellas even, in some ways, look like Tennessee. Because the mid-major players that used to be on those 13 through 15 seeds now play for mid to high-level, high-major programs. Bennett Sturtz was at Drake with head coach Ben McCollum. First year at Iowa. Helps Iowa to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 11 years. Matas Vokatitis, Ramon.
Yeah.
Transferred in from another recent darling in Cinderella, Florida Atlantic. Now where he's at now, Texas, who got a big win over Gonzaga, who we knew Gonzaga was going to bow out early. Gonzaga was the makings of a top 3 seed that was always going to go down early, and they do this from time to time. Dylan Darling at St. John's used to be at Idaho State. Was at Washington State before that. Neither of those programs are really Cinderellas and haven't done much of the NCAA tournament, but still point stands that the kinds of programs that would be 13 through 15 seeds. And then let's look at home. Jacoby Gillespie goes from Belmont to Maryland to Tennessee. The kind of bracket buster that would have been in one shining moment with his big threes and could have done that for Belmont. Obviously was making plays for Maryland, and that is a high major program and team when Kevin Willard was there before he left for Villanova and then threatened to fire his whole staff during an in-game interview the other day, which is a crazy thing that happened. All that being said, I think the narrative that Cinderellas and magic and madness is over in the NCAA tournament is a lazy one. We just got to redefine what we expect from March Madness.
Right.
Probably expect less first-round chaos, but more second-round drama, because I think the gap between the 3 seeds and the 9 seeds is as narrow as it has ever been in this sport, and I think that's great for college basketball.
CBS Sports tweeted out the Sweet 16 from last year to this year. I'm not sure if you know if you saw it already, but it's 9 returners. To your point, 7 newbies this year. The 7 newbies: Nebraska, St. John's, UConn, Iowa, Illinois, Iowa State, and Texas. And the first 9 remain the same. So to your point, the Cinderellas are all majors. Like, all of those are major schools, Division I. There's no small-time team in this whatsoever. Or, Will, to your point, not even last year's Sweet 16 had a small school in it as well. That's 2, to your point, straight years of Power 4 schools making it to the Sweet 16. There is no Cinderella to be spoken of.
Those players are still playing and are still making magical moments and shots. They're just doing so for different logos than they used to, which means you got to wait till the weekend versus Thursday or Friday to watch it.
The Cinderellas, Maryland, who's not, as of late, BYU, who tried to do it again this year. They did last year. Mm-hmm. This year it is Illinois, who's a good team.
Texas has an 11 seed.
That's what I'm saying.
Texas and Iowa are the 2 Cinderellas. Schools and programs with a lot of resources.
It's the same way college football has transitioned out of, hey, we'll just gut a win out. No, you just stack a lot of talent because you can pay for it now, like Texas Tech.
Coming up, we evaluate where the Titans are at this point of the offseason, needs that they have addressed, the biggest needs that still need to be addressed. We take stock of where we're at so far. What's changed since the offseason has begun? That's next. Hey, it's Will Bowling. If you haven't already heard, Nashville's premier timepiece dealer is Brentwood Jewelry. Not only do they have the best selection in watches, but they are also the go-to spot for pre-owned Rolexes, vintage or current models. Own a fine pre-owned Rolex for a fraction of the cost, and every watch has been meticulously serviced to ensure the highest level of performance and is presented with a 2-year warranty as well. When you shop with Brentwood Jewelry, you get the family-owned touch, you get advice, and you get an easy and not stressful process. When I walked into Brentwood Jewelry looking for an engagement ring, I was stressed. They made it easy for me, walked me through the options, and made it simple. That's what they're going to be able to do for you as well. 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Whether you're looking for that excellent timepiece, the engagement ring, or just a nice gift for your loved one, make sure you shop online at BrentwoodJewelry.com. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Brentwood Jewelry at BrentwoodJewelry.com. Hour 4, Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Glad you are with us. At Ramon and Will, where you can follow us on Twitter. Are you subscribed to the Ramon and Will podcast feed?
Come on, people.
In 35 minutes, some great content hits your smart devices. That's the case every single morning at 10 a.m. Doesn't cost you anything. It's going to take 1 second. We're not going to show up at your house. That costs extra. That will cost you a lot. But you can get every interview, every conversation on the Ramon and Will podcast feed for your drive to and from work. Where if you are used to watching hoops over the next 4 days and you just don't want to work, Ramon and Will podcast feed. We'll keep you company today during your work day. Ramon, where have the Titans done the best job of addressing their needs so far in the offseason?
Defensive line and secondary. Those two spots right there have hit well for the Titans, or as far as accumulating bodies, experience, value as well. That's where the mindset into us discussing where were you in the start of the offseason for this team versus where you are right now. And I think the depth of the front four and the back end of this defense has really stepped it up with what they've done in free agency. And also with experience, too. Well, no, there's no experience on the back end for this team, but they picked up a lot of bodies, man. Last signing, of course, was safety Tony Adams.
And he's got some experience.
He does.
Most definitely. Titans did make a move over the weekend we hadn't talked about yet,
Right.
and I don't think this is something you can just kind of dismiss either. I thought it was a pretty smart decision bringing in linebacker Mohamed Diabate. Not the basketball player at Alabama and Kentucky, but inside linebacker who played 46 games over 3 seasons with Cleveland.
Yeah.
Made 18 starts over the last 3 seasons as well. Tom Pelissero first with the report over the weekend. Cleveland did not tender him as a restricted free agent, and he brings experience into the inside linebacker room. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Anthony Orji signing a year ago.
Okay.
Who never really got to play much a season ago with his ACL injury that he suffered in training camp. And he was kind of in that competition along with James Williams and Cedric Gray to be the linebacker that would start next to Cody Barton.
Mm-hmm.
But gives you an extra option considering now your base defense has 3 linebackers. You have more of a need for bodies at linebacker than you previously did.
And it's always unique with these type of signings right here. And by the way, Mohamed Diabate is 6'4", 220 plus. I instantly think ranginess, being rangy, speed, long body, inside linebacker or linebacker in general. And when you couple that usually with defensive coaches like a Robert Saleh, I wonder what he sees, what they're evaluating, what they think they can get out of him. When he's in his 4th year, currently, team didn't give him a tender. Does this signify he's a teamer for Coach Bones Fossil and special teams? There's a lot of discussions with a guy like this. And, I mean, this is pre-OTAs as well, before the offseason program starts up too. So there's clearly a plan in what they like in him off the free agent market right here. I just wonder, is he's going to be incorporated in the game plan, or is this a core player special team signing as well? And he's played, to your point, with a good bit.
Where have the draft needs changed the most since the start of the offseason?
It was for me. I think it was for you. I think it was for every person that followed this team. Bang, bang, bang. Ruben Bain Jr., who also has his pro day today at Miami as well. It's going to be fascinating to see what his measurements and times is if he runs. I think we were all over it. I thought edge rusher, I thought defensive line was for this team, and I feel like it's shifted. It's either, still in my selfish opinion, off-ball linebacker, Sonny Styles, but I think it really does, if I'm being honest with myself, it points to offensive production. How they choose to go about picking this selection, I'm not sure. But they hadn't really addressed the offense as far as playmakers unless they really feel good about Chimere Dike, Alec Ayumanor, and, of course, Wandale Robinson and Calvin Ridley. Do you really go after solidifying your offense by going after an offensive weapon? It's the way I'm looking at this one.
For me, it's offensive line.
It's O-line.
That's where the draft needs have changed the most.
Okay.
I believe that they moved on from Lloyd Cushenberry with the hope, based on what's been reported out there, by a couple of different local writers with the hope of signing a free agent center to be a veteran to take pressure off of Cam Ward going into his second season and in a new system. I think they settled a little bit for Austin Schlottmann. And Schlotti is someone who is right now, leader of the clubhouse to start at center.
He is.
You can only plug Jackson Slater in one spot. Are you doing that at center or are you doing that at right guard? However you spin it, if Kevin Zeitler is not back as the right guard of the Tennessee Titans in 2026, you have at least one need for a plug-and-play starter in the 2026 NFL Draft on your offensive line. I'm not sure we would have expected that going into the offseason. That is interesting to me, how they've decided to do this. I wonder if this is plan A, B, C, or if we're down to LMNOP on the offensive line. I wonder how much of this they planned for and how much of this they're trying to react in real time.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to move on.
What?
I snorted. You didn't hear me snort?
Oh, yeah, right.
But
I'm hilarious. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm with
And I'm humble.
I'm with you, yeah, humble. I'm with you, though, in that assessment. I was thinking first round pick, but like we had the conversation with Stoney Keeley earlier. Like how rich is interior offensive line to this team to pick? To your point, Jackson Slater's available. We knew he was a developmental player coming out of Sacramento State. You knew there was a pathway in which he had to grow. Now he's faced with a new offensive line coach. Well, we got to be honest in that assessment. When you look at coach changes, there might be a different type of body style that he wants. Clearly, they like size. Of course, when you look at Austin Schlottmann, and how they signed him as a 6'5", basically center, if he does play that position, does Jackson Slater fit the mold? Does he want more bigger body guys? As I told you before, if they stick with the same structure that they have with the New York Giants and this Brian Daboll offense, I do look at this and say, I wonder, do they want more power? Look at how they were all over, what's his name from Arizona State, the running back, the one that made the CTE comments this past weekend.
Cam Scatterbo.
Scatterbo. They wanted more downhill, I feel like, to set up the play action power, roll around the pocket type of stuff, too. By the way, flagrant conversation by him this past weekend. He apologized and rolled it back, too. But Cam Scatterbo, brother, stop. Don't do that. And I'll add this to the fact, too. Just because you're popular don't mean you're smart. There's no reason he should be answering that question right there in general. They set him up, and I hate that for him, and he walked it back a little bit as well. But I wonder if they're going more power, focus, big guys up front moving and controlling the line of scrimmage. And that's to be seen when you're talking about coaching staff and what they're choosing to do as well. Carmen Brasillo has to be in a position where he pick his guys. I'm not sure if Jackson Slater is his type or what, but that's a rich position that has to be picked up at some point in time because you got to protect Cam. And if you go with Slody at center, that gives you the veteran presence and understanding of how to be in hard, tough situations. But that right guard position is most definitely a premium spot to be looking at over the draft in the next few weeks as free agency.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. It comes down to who you want to be as an offense. And Stoney Keeley mentioned it with us, Ramon, at 7:20, talking about the Auburn center, Connor Lew.
Yeah.
Who tore his ACL in October, yet could project as a fringe first or second round prospect if he was healthy. Connor Lew is closer to a Tyler Linderbaum type and someone who is a bit more slightly built, yet would give you excellent leadership and blocking in the interior in the run game. Okay, well, if you're drafting Jeremiah Love with the 4th overall pick, is that the kind of type that is important to you? PFF tells us Lloyd Cushenberry was not good in the run game last season. Our eyeballs will also tell us that when Corey Levin came into the game in Cleveland and started, Titans ran for almost 200 yards on the ground. We don't need PFF to tell us that the Titans' offensive line, in a limited sample size, was better at running the football with Corey Levin at center than with Lloyd Cushenberry. Lloyd has had terrible injury luck. I hate that for him.
Right.
But the facts are the facts. He was not a good enough run blocker from the center position a season ago. how much does it matter to you to get a great one or just a better one? Is Austin Schlottmann that guy? I mean, at this point, Ramon, I think it's fair to assume Austin Schlottmann is probably your week 1 center. But are you signing him with the expectation that he's your week 1 through 18 center? Or are you assuming that either Jackson Slater or a rookie that you draft takes over by week 9 or 10? I like the Connor Lew idea. And if I had to guess at this point, it feels like that 3rd round pick is going to be used on an interior offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Whether that is a guard that you feel like is in the 2nd or 3rd tier maybe, or top or bottom of the 1st tier of guards in this draft, or whether that's someone you feel like is at the top of the center position. And Sam Hecht at Kansas State, and Jake Slaughter at Florida, and Connor Lew at Auburn. If you feel like 66 makes sense for him, then I think that feels like a logical place to get someone at the top of the market. On the flip side, is Cordell Volson the guy that you feel like is ready coming off of a season-ending injury last year to be a starter? That would surprise me.
Yeah.
But at least gives you insurance at a position of need right now that, let's face it, Ramon, it isn't better today than when the offseason started. Like right now, the Titans' offensive line is at worst the same as what it was when the offseason began.
Absolutely.
Now, J.C. Latham's going to get better.
We hope.
Peter Skoronski, I think, can get even better. J.C., I think, it being totally healthy would make him better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little unfair to say that they're just all of a sudden not any better, but they've also, I mean, they've, on paper right now, they've downgraded at right guard, and maybe they're a little better at center, but that's asking a lot of Austin Schlottmann, who's never been a full-time starter. I'm not worried about it yet. I'm intrigued by how they fix it. And that's where the draft needs have changed the most. You got to go find one day 1 starter for your offensive line.
No doubt about it. And not just that. It's more about the entire unit being together. Like, we're going to have this question come summertime when camp starts up. How long does it take for this group to get together? Like, I thought last year it would happen by week 4. That's how you really want it to be, by week 4, a month into the season.
Well, that's when Nate Davis took over.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
by week 4.
You want it to be that way, and that's where they're faced with right now. Like, that's a great question. Are they better last year with this offensive line, the way it's set up now in the offseason? The answer is no. It's either the same or worse because you don't have any answers right now. I see in our comments, somebody bring up, grab the guard from Notre Dame in the 4th round. If they're talking about Billy, Schroth, however you say that, are you putting a 4th round guard in as a starter? These are the questions that you have to ask. Like, yes, you're trying to surround them with veteran presence. The same thing goes for Jackson Slater as well. Like, how much can you hide the young guy? Is the young guy worth taking in the 3rd or 4th round if you feel like he's your dude? But again, the adjustment period of JC, to your point, continuing to grow, the insertion of a new center, either Jackson Slater or Austin Schlottmann, has to be settled. But whatever it is, and this is a new caveat for the Titans as well, they get an extra week because with a new head coach, they can start the offseason program and practices earlier as well. How fast can you expedite this development and incorporate this offense with all new calls possibly for Cam, the O-line, the wide receiver, and just the new bodies that's been incorporated into this group? I don't want to say it's going to be a slow grind to get them up to speed, but offenses usually take more time. And that's why I think having a stronger offensive line to pacify Cam so there's not much on his plate is going to be necessary. So to your point and a lot of other folks about Jeremiah Love, if he is the home run hitter, it could ease the pain of watching this group grow up. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, it's just a lot of questions.
Have they done enough on the defensive line to make you think they're not going to pick an edge rusher with the 4th pick?
The draft tells its own story. My initial answer with Jeremiah Johnson and
Jermaine
Johnson and the other players that they've signed, like, I think they've done enough to pacify themselves now for a while. I think
I agree.
You started the season with this group, you feel comfortable with them.
I think it's the fact that they see John Franklin Myers, I assume, if Robert Saleh still believes what he did a couple years ago, or I think it was last year, talking to Josina Anderson in an interview, that John Franklin Myers on 1st and 2nd downs is an edge and then moves inside to D tackle on 3rd down.
Mm-hmm.
If that's still the case, then yeah. I also think, again, like, not to say Femi Oladejo is totally persuading you from not taking a first-round edge rusher, but Femi Oladejo is not an empty chair.
No.
And he was battling injuries last season and didn't have a lot of production. Still a second-round pick. And he's a second-round pick by this front office. I know not for this coaching staff, but by this front office. You don't take a guy like that as early as the Titans did and give up on them after 1 year. That's a bit of an oversimplification. If the Titans take Ruben Bain, it doesn't mean they're giving up on Femi. I just think we can't forget about Femi factoring into the Titans' plans at edge rusher this year in a major way.
I agree with you there.
They need him to grow up and grow up quickly.
There's been 11 defensive signings that I counted on the transaction ticker for the Titans.
And that's, I think, the biggest overarching thing is that they've switched what needs to be fixed the most since the offseason began from defense to offense. Now they've got more needs on offense than defense. It was the opposite when the offseason began.
Are you okay? And I guess the question is, are the Titans okay with letting the offense be a little bit slower behind? Like, I do believe defensive-minded head coaches believe in possession, working the clock, and I think that's why you go out and sign Joey Sly and Tommy Townsend, too. Those guys play the field position. We're talking about a punter and Tommy Townsend. When he was signed here, it was, what does his direction and ability to pin you inside the 10 and 20 look like, too? You defend the blades of grass and allow the offense to slow bleed you. But again, Dable's a seasoned play caller. He understands NFL offenses as well. Cam's got tremendous talent. I do wonder if we're looking at needs for this team, where do you attack that in the draft?
Titans were 7th in the NFL in terms of sacks allowed. 7th worst. Patriots, Chargers, Raiders, Vikings, Jets, all worse. But they gave up 56 sacks. And today, Ramon, on paper, they are not better on the offensive line.
No, sir.
But games aren't played in March. They got plenty of time. But it is something that needs to be addressed, and I think they know it. Final call for phone calls, 615-737-1045, as we wrap up the show next.
This is a different court, Blair.
Same result, Slay.
Oh, okay, Blair. See, that's Tyler Tanner. See, Tyler Tanner's in the house now.
Let's see what you got. Jerry's out, Blair.
Blair, come on. Okay, Blair, just come sit down. Come on, Blair, stop. You're going to get hurt. Blair, get off the court. That's enough.
What's the verdict, Blair? The courtroom is where I play ball.
Boy, Durham, injury law. And that ain't got no roof.
Early to mid-March is an odd time of transition, isn't it? Hey, it's Will Bowling. Cold and flu season is losing its grip. Spring is here. I think it's kind of sprung over the weekend. Zero Res makes sure that you're doing spring cleaning the right way. You got to call Zero Res and find out about their 2- and 3-room carpet specials. When you get Zero Res out there to clean the carpets, clean around the house, the deep clean that they have is going to be the very best you can get. That's because Zero Res is a smarter, lasting clean with ZR water. No harsh chemicals, no soap residue. You're going to get faster dry times, and everything is going to stay cleaner longer. So if you make that investment in getting your carpets cleaned the right way, then it's going to last longer than anyone else you can get out there. Check out Zero Res online at zeroresnashville.com. Find out about their 2- and 3-room carpet specials or call them 615-535-9376. That's Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. 615-535-9376. And don't forget to ask about their air duct cleaning. Ramon Will wrapping up the show on 104.5 The Zone. Hit the podcast feed if you missed any of it this morning. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. Some sad news this morning in Middle Tennessee and in Tennessee high school football, as former Brentwood Academy coach Carlton Flatt has passed away. His family announcing that this morning. ESPN, the broadcasting network for Brentwood Academy Athletics, saying, with heavy hearts, we announce the passing of our beloved husband, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather Carlton Flatt. While we grieve, we hold tightly to God's promise of eternal life. Rejoice, he is now at home with his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Quoting 2 Timothy 4:7, saying, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. Coach Flatt was a phenomenal leader and man and person at Brentwood Academy. He really built that football program into a powerhouse. He won hundreds of games. He's the third all-time winningest coach in the history of Tennessee high school football with 355 wins. Led Brentwood Academy to 10 TSSAA state championships over 34 seasons, and he's passed away at the age of 82. Ramon, he will be more remembered, though, for the legacy of leadership and caring for his players.
Yeah.
There are generations of football players in Middle Tennessee whose lives were encouraged and led and influenced by Carlton Flatt. Countless guys that went on to play college football, earn full ride scholarships to help their families, to help continue their college careers because of the influence Coach Flatt had. He so deeply cared about his players and so deeply cared about Brentwood Academy and Middle Tennessee high school football. Want to send my prayers to his family and honor him this morning, Ramon, because he is an absolute legend and institution, and his legacy will go far beyond the football games that he won.
No doubt. 26 years, you say?
34 years.
34 years. Wow.
10 state championships or led the team to 10 state championships in 34 seasons.
Wow, that's a heck of a time. And like you said, that's generations right there where the kids get an opportunity to see what they did or come under his tutelage or come under his era as well, man. Condolences to the Brentwood Academy family and to his family as well, man. Wow, what a life well lived.
And I'll say this just real quick at the end here. And again, today about remembering Coach Flatt and about honoring the legacy that he left. It's time to put Carlton Flatt in the TSSAA Hall of Fame. It's past time.
Yeah.
Carlton Flatt was inducted into the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame in 2014. It is far past time for the TSSAA to honor him and the legacy that he left in his time as the head coach at Brentwood Academy. The Tennessean in 2023 voted him the best high school football coach in Nashville since 1960. And he is not in the TSSAA Hall of Fame. Yeah. I'm not going to go any further on that. I think it's amazing he's not already in, and it is long overdue. So perhaps that can bring back up that conversation for the people that choose those things for the TSSAA Hall of Fame. But Carlton Flatt, an institution, passing away at the age of 82, and praying for his family. He was really cool to spend a lot of time around. When I was at Brentwood Academy, he was the middle school football coach.
Okay.
Brentwood Academy won 4 state titles in football in high school in a row, in large part because Coach Flatt was mentoring young middle school players and was getting them ready. And it's like they were already in a high school program by the time they got there. And talk about names like Derek Barnett and Dawson Knox, who were playing in the NFL, who I was in school with, who were coached by him at that age. So he is a legend.
No
Absolute
doubt.
legend. Sad day in Brentwood. Sad day for Middle Tennessee high school football for sure.
Wow, no doubt, man. TSSAA, do the right thing, man. I get it. Again, condolences, man. Big time stuff right there.
Tomorrow morning, we will talk with Austin Price at 8:20, get an update on a big recruiting weekend as well for Tennessee football. Obviously, talk Tennessee hoops. A little bit of spring ball as well. There is lots to discuss this week.
Plenty. We are under a month. We're getting to a month exactly in this draft coverage right here.
That's right. We got 16 more hours to talk this week, Ramon. Can't wait.
You know the magic number, Will?
What's that?
16.
Sweet.
Sweet.
We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.
Well, remember at all times, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.